Sporting a roster of just 23 young men, the Lyman Eagles certainly aren't the largest 2A program. The numbers might be small, but hope is in bloom as they try to earn a playoff bid after a 2-year drought. Under 8th-year head coach Dale Anderson, this band of brothers is out to make their mark on the 2019 season. Lyman football is live for another year on MyLocalRadio.com as their exclusive video broadcast partner. Catch the action live and online throughout the regular and postseason right here or with the radio simulcast on KNYN 99.1 FM. With the countdown to the opening kick hitting 0 at the top of the hour, let's head to the MyLocalRadio.com broadcast booth to hear from the voice of the Eagles, Jake Hibbard.
Tick-tock goes the clock on every life. No rest, no pain, I'm in overdrive. Get your beauty sleep, kick up your feet, you wasted all. Me, I'm not stopping, I'm not dropping.
After a 2-year drought, the Lyman Eagles return to the playoffs here in style with a home contest in Uinta County. A Week 8 defensive battle had them getting the best of Big Piney 6-0 to earn number 2 in the West. Well, for Thermopolis, they thought they'd earn number 2 in the East, but a late touchdown changed all of that. Today, we have two teams looking for a Final Four berth. And we have a snow-dusted field on a Friday afternoon. The 2A quarterfinals when we return. Lyman and Thermopolis next. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been among the most trusted businesses in Southwest Wyoming and beyond. There's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Yeager's Auto Body. Owner Justin Yeager and his staff are experts in their field and will deliver on your vehicle's needs. So the next time your car is in need of repair, go see the best at Yeager's Auto Body in Green River at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way, or give them a call at 307-875-2448. Yeager's Auto Body in Green River, proud sponsors of Mountain View and Lyman High School sports.
Welcome back to the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show, where for nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been the place to go when you are in search of top-notch auto body repair. Banged up vehicle, truck, car, SUV, van, doesn't matter. You got a ding on the outside, minor or major, take it to Yeager's Auto Body at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way in Green River, or give them a call for an estimate at 307-875-2448. Today's contest has Lyman hosting Thermopolis in the 2A quarterfinals, and when we come back, we will take our first look at this contest at hand. Kickoff set for the top of the hour. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
Welcome back into Lyman, Wyoming, where I'm having a very touchy soundboard, so I'm going to try just for a second to get that all organized out, as it's just jumping from all too high to a little bit low. Yeager's Auto Body pregame show here. One more time at least from Lyman High School. Number 2 versus number 3. Most likely the last home game in Lyman, whether they win or lose, as you have the number 1 team in Buffalo playing number 4 tonight. And across the way on the other side of the bracket, you've got Mountain View playing against Wheatland. That game started about an hour ago. And well, as we take a look at how we got here, it was really last week that set everything up for Lyman to have this contest. A 6-0 shutout against Big Piney right here on this home field of theirs. And for Thermopolis, it was a 29-28 loss down the stretch, and down the stretch indeed. They had just about no time to react at the end of the game when, well, that's what Burns was thinking. It was 21-21, the final minute of the contest, and a 35-yard touchdown for Thermopolis gave them the lead with 30 seconds left, 28-21. You know, Thermopolis opts to, I think it was a squib kick. The camera I was watching didn't really give a good angle, but they got it on the 38, Burns did. and a little run across the middle of the field. Got Burns inside the 50 down to about the 45-yard line, and then a deep throw from Caden Lakin to Logan Lerwick. Basically a Hail Mary, 45 yards, gets deflected into the hands of Lerwick for a touchdown. With just a couple of seconds left, they opt to go for 2 points. A pitch left side to Bo Clayson. He somersaults into the end zone, and I think it was 7.8 seconds left when Burns took that 29-28 lead to kind of shock Thermopolis. It was a close game throughout, but getting a touchdown in the final minute and it turning out to not be enough, that's how Thermopolis is in Lyman today. Well, let's take a look at this contest as a whole. We have not seen these two teams play this year, and if you take a look out on the field, Thermopolis certainly has the size advantage. And looking beyond that, they've certainly played some of the top echelon teams, Bighorn in 1A. That's a good team, 1A or 2A classification level. They played them within a couple of scores. They played Buffalo actually pretty tight. It was a two-touchdown game in the end, but really could have been closer, and Thermopolis played them pretty tight. They lost 35-0 to Mountain View, but that was probably the most frustrating game of the season for head coach Brent Walk and the Mountain View Buffalo. So a lot of reason to believe Thermopolis, although in the road jerseys, is maybe the favorite in today's contest. For Lyman, finishing 5-3 on the year, though, reason to believe and reason to be excited, as it's cool to be a Lyman Eagle again out on the football field. They started with 23 men on their team. They've worked their way up to 30, I think, by the end of the season is where they're at. They've had a couple of kids join middle of the year, and a kid getting an interception late in the contest last week. That was exactly what we saw. Jet Dickerson, a junior. He's played basketball for Lyman for a few years, but football-wise, he was always working, never really gone to see a game. Well, it was week 3 of the season. He opted to go to Cokeville, got off work, and went out to watch the Lyman Eagles play, came back, said, Dad, I've got to join football, and he did, went through his mandatory practices, played a couple of weeks later, and in last week's Week 8 victory, Jet Dickerson was the player getting the game cap interception to close things out. So if you've seen, also he had Carter Smith come in as a junior. He switched over from, he was in Ryrie, I believe, in Idaho. His dad got a job as superintendent of Lyman. His younger brother McCoy's played some time as well. They've kind of gone out and recruited some players as well. So it sounds like it's kind of a change of mentality as Lyman now at the winning season, their first since 2013. Trying to switch things around. A playoff game coming up your way in about 31 minutes from now. Lyman and Thermopolis when we come back. We'll continue on the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show by hearing from the coach of the Bridger Valley across the way, Brent Walk. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman Football on MyLocalRadio.com.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep.
In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNYN 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
Welcome back to the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show as we get closer to this quarterfinal matchup today, Lyman and Thermopolis. We've taken our first look at that, and we'll now shift briefly away from this and over to a game happening 6 miles the other way in Uinta County in Mountain View. That game kicked off 20 minutes ago or so as Mountain View is hosting number 4 Wheatland out of the East. We were able to catch up with Brent Walk, head coach of the Mountain View Buffaloes, earlier this week to talk about that contest at hand as Mountain View undefeated on the season and going in as the number 1 seed out of the West. Well, we weren't able to bring you both of these games today, obviously. We'll be with Mountain View next week should they advance on. However, we want to get a look around the valley and look at what's happening just over in the valley. And we'll talk to Brent Walk and ask exactly how he prepared for this upcoming contest as these boys out of Mountain View are trying to make it into their 3rd straight state championship match. Well, then after that, we'll flip back to Lyman as they're trying to make their first semifinal match since they went all the way back in 2012. And we'll talk to both of the coaches coming up after that. But Brent Walk of the Mountain View Buffaloes when we come back on this Jaegers Auto Body pregame show on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Okay. Yep, it's all working. Got Brent Walk with me, head coach of the Mountain View Buffaloes. Final week of the season, and that has your largest output of the year as well. It's hard to approach a game like that as a playoff as you wanted your team to do, but how do you think they did do in that aspect?
You know, Jake, honestly, I think they did a great job. You know, we were zeroed in. You know, we were talking about explosion to the playoffs, and, you know, our guys came out and you know, I've been talking to you again. I say the same thing every week, but we're concerned about playing Mountain View football, and, you know, we've been consistent with that throughout the year. You know, we really didn't have a setback or anything, but there were some performances that weren't quite where we're at. But, you know, as far as the last, you know, 3 or 4 weeks, man, we're really excited where we're at.
The beginning of the game really seemed like a slow start offensively, and I mean, look, it's on a scale because you scored on every drive, but it seemed like your offense was slow out of the gates a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we when we brought the guys together, we talked about them, and we talk about practice like you play full speed, and we want to hit the field running, and and obviously we like to get that get the ball snapped quick and shorten the clock, so to speak, and play fast. But I agree with you. Yeah, it was just kind of a I don't know how to explain it, but we addressed it. But what was really, really impressive with the kids, as soon as we talked to the kids about it, they they just kind of went snap mode and went off.
Now, round one brings Wheatland from the far eastern side of the state. You haven't seen them this year, of course, but I know you've been watching them. What do they do well?
Coach Bolander does a great job. He's a really, really good young coach. I think it's his third year taking over their program. He does a great job. They got a quarterback, that can throw the football. They've got some good athletes. They're good up front. So offensively, or defensively, we're expecting them to, kind of air the ball out, and we obviously need to be sound in our coverages and put some pressure on number 11.
Playoffs bring the cold maybe earlier than usual even, and that usually suggests offense cool down a bit. But is that probably just a challenge for your team?
Yeah, as far as our offense slowing down?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Is that just a challenge that I give your team now?
Yeah, we addressed this, in our first Monday practice, and we talked to the guys about, it is what it is, and this is a great spot, and we live in the greatest place in the world, Mountain View, Wyoming, and we know it's going to get cold. So as far as us changing anything, it's not going to change anything for Mountain View, offense, defense, or specialty.
Now, playoffs are nothing new with this group, but the seniors were freshmen back in 2016 when Mountain View had that quarterfinal upset, and I know how 2018's championship sets, but does 2016 something that ever gets brought up?
To be honest with you, no. We don't go. I don't talk to kids specifically about 2016 or 2018. Us not winning the state championship. I don't talk about any of that stuff. But what I do talk to the kids about, literally, is every single day is you can't get today back. And we know where we're at right now. The playoffs start, and yeah, we had a great regular season. We were 8-0, and I say we were 8-0 because right now we're 0-0, and so is Wheatland, and so is everybody else in the playoffs. So we're just focused on day by day and making sure that the kids understand, and they do, man. They have such a great grasp on this stuff. They're so grounded that you cannot get today back, and Friday we can't get today back, so we're coming out to play Mountain View football.
As I'm talking to you right now, I think we're about 5 degrees outside. What's the practice plan for today?
We're probably gonna go to our indoor facility and practice. Under the in the heat and all that kind of stuff. No, I'm joking, but I don't see us going outside. What we'll do is we'll bring the kids in, and I mean we have some great classroom sessions. We have morning meetings, and we'll just kind of extend our this morning's meeting with this afternoon, and then we'll have a walkthrough in the hall. But yeah, we're probably not going to go outside today.
Focus certainly has not been an issue with this team from what I've witnessed as I've started talking to some of these kids. They really look at this season as an extension from the last couple of years of that. It's not every week's a new one, but everything that they've done is build off of everything that they've already been. But as you get into the playoffs, they were able to not even go 2 quarters in that senior night competition. I'm sure that was difficult for them, but at some point you had to just take them out, didn't you, with the score the way it was?
Yeah, absolutely. We're our philosophy. We're in a kid business, and we'll never be, as long as I'm the head coach here, man, we'll never be a team that is, just running up stats and running up scores and stuff like that. And so, I think you and I talked about this last week, that it is kind of frustrating because these kids, and we talk about this, but these kids have literally, they've been Mountain View football players since they were 3rd graders, out in my backyard, and my oldest son and I would go out and paint our backyard and have football field, and they were getting after it, but it is kind of frustrating because they've worked so hard and they've literally played just barely over half the season. But, going into the playoffs, it's a brand new season, and I addressed that with the guys, and I said, playoff football, man, you better be ready, and our guys, if we're fortunate enough to get by Wheatland, they've got to be prepared to go into the 3rd and 4th quarter. So that's kind of our, our playoff mindset. And we talked about that in our first team meeting yesterday, that, we're fully expecting our guys to be on the field for 4 quarters.
That's Brent Walk, head coach for the Mountain View Buffaloes. Good luck this week.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jake.
All right. Hey, It's been quite a season to be a football fan in Uinta County, in the Bridger Valley in particular, as you had Lyman making a playoff run. We'll see them perform at the top of the hour against Thermopolis. Mountain View getting its 6th undefeated season in that program's history, and in fine shape to try and make a run back to the state championship. Both of these teams looking very strong as they head into the playoffs. As we appreciate Brent Walk for joining us here on the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show. Yeager's Auto Body is a proud sponsor of high school athletics, both in Wyoming and Utah and all around, because owner Justin Yeager knows that keeping kids in athletics or just involved in a school activity one way or another keeps them out of trouble. And more importantly, teaches them valuable skills as they move on to the workforce. And he'd like to salute all of the athletes in today's contest and wish them good luck and have a safe time out there. We will come back and shift over to the coaches portion of this Yeager's Auto Body pregame show when we return. Lyman versus Thermopolis at the top of the hour on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Getting closer to kickoff time here in Lyman, Wyoming, as we have Thermop and Lyman doing battle today. And as we shift over to the coaches portion of this Yeager's Auto Body pregame show, we give a tip of the cap to those coaches who have been working their programs back from some lean years. And we have a pair of them today. Matt McPhee from Thermopolis, now in his 4th year. He had 1 win his first season, and then 3 wins the second and third, and just 1 conference victory in his second year, 2 in his third year, and now this year, all 4 of his victories come in conference, and nearly had a 5th. It was really just a crazy play at the end of the game against Burns last week. A 45-yard bomb down the field, and hey, Burns wins it as they go for 2 and get a pitch left into the end zone. That's the difference between 5-3 and 4-4, and if that was the case, Thermopolis would be hosting a game. But either way, Matt McPhee has been working with these athletes who the seniors are now for 4 years since they were freshmen. As for Dale Anderson, he's now in his 8th season. In his first year, he was undefeated and won the state championship. He inherited a great team, and as you do sometimes as a coach, now after you get that first early success, it's what can you do with it after that. And there has been some lean years in Lyman as interest may have dwindled a bit in football. The athletes were coming and going, and I think that Coach Anderson, he's stuck with the program. He's believed in the process, and he's fostered a great atmosphere with football this year and built on a little bit of success last year. And now with a home playoff game for the first time since they had their state championship run. What is that now? 7 years ago now. Well, excitement in Lyman football is back, and it's cool to be a Lyman Eagle football player again, and that's great to see. So we'll hear from both of these coaches coming up. First, Matt McPhee, and then we'll close out the Yeager's Auto Body pregame show with Lyman head coach Dale Anderson. This is a First Bank presentation of Eagles football on MyLocalRadio.com.
For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been among the most trusted businesses in southwest Wyoming and beyond. There's a reason why the biggest auto dealers in the area trust their vehicles to Yeager's Auto Body. Owner Justin Yeager and his staff are experts in their field and will deliver on your vehicle's needs. So the next time your car is in need of repair, go see the best at Yeager's Auto Body in Green River at 360 West Flaming Gorge Way, or give them a call at 307-875-2448. Yeager's Auto Body in Green River, proud sponsors of Mountain View and Lyman High School sports.
I've got Matt McPhee with me, head coach of the Thermopolis Bobcats. Last week of the season had you playing Burns in a playoff-type game. What were your thoughts on that contest as a whole?
Well, it was a good, hard-fought game on both sides. Burns is a well-coached team. Coach Morrison's done a really good job over there. They made a big, giant play, towards the end of the game. I thought, we trailed at halftime. Went in, made some adjustments. We shut them down the second half, held them scoreless until 7 seconds left. We went ahead and took the lead with about 30 seconds. So proud of our kids. They fought hard. At the end of the day, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. We'd like to be on the other end of it, but things worked out the way they did, and here we are. And everyone's got a clean slate at this juncture, so we pretty much mopped that thing up and moved forward on Monday morning.
What do you know about Lyman coming into the game?
Well, I know what I've seen on film, and we watched a lot of film on them. They're a good football team. They're sound. They're physical. I've seen them do multiple things, but I think one thing that stands out to me on film is they look like a pretty physical football team. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us on Friday.
You're on the road this week, and it's really had the temperatures drop down this week in particular. In your experience, what really changes this time of year with dropping temperatures and how the game is played?
Well, I think that's what I alluded to with them. I think it's a game of physicality. It's a pretty simple game when you boil it down. Can you block? Can you tackle? And can you take care of the football? So as the temperature decreases, maybe some of the fine motor skills decrease as well. Playoff football. It's Wyoming, and you have to love it. So the team that controls the line of scrimmage, takes care of the football, is going to come out victorious on Friday.
How has your team rebounded from what was obviously a very roller coaster contest in Week 8?
I think they've rebounded well. I think I think these kids understand that we've taken the steps, that they're ready to have more success beyond Week 8. These seniors, I've got 10, 11 seniors right now, and it's a unique set of individuals. And, they've gone from being a part of a team that won one conference game, and then two, and then three, and this year we've, end up 4-2 in conference. So they understand that hard work pays off. They've taken the steps necessary, and like I said, we put Friday night behind us, and these kids are eager to go play for another week, and that's all we've talked about. It's going 1-0 this week, and that's the mindset.
Yeah, you finished the year at 4-4, not over 500, but the most successful year in the regular season that this team's had in the last 4. And you mentioned going from 1-7 to then 3-6 the last couple of years, but increasing those conference victories every year. You've been out in the quarterfinals the last 2 years, but what must this team do to avoid this turnaround?
Well, we've got to play physical, sound football. It is different this year. I mean, it really is. Last two playoffs, first rounds, quarterfinals, we've gone down to Mountain View. I thought last year's Mountain View team was really, really good, and this one might be even better. That being said, we don't control our opponent. Lyman's a good football team, but I also believe that when you look at things, you have to be realistic about it. I don't think they're at the Mountain View level. Neither are we. And you just look back at the scores. I don't believe either us or Lyman scored a point against Mountain View. So I feel like we have a good opportunity in front of us. Our boys do as well. We want to be still doing football come Saturday morning this week, and that's really our focus. It's win or go home, and our boys know that, and I believe they'll be hungry, and I think it'll show on the field on Friday.
As Matt McPhee, head coach for Thermopolis, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
As Burns and Thermopolis were wrapping up their regular season in Week 8, I was in the gymnasium in Mountain View as Mountain View and Lyman volleyball was happening, and that was a great contest. And, I was also concerned about what's going on in over in Burns because, hey, We got a decider of who Lyman has. Lyman had wrapped up the number 2 seed the day before. I'd done that game, and it was just the waiting game of Burns versus Thermopolis of who got home field advantage, and the winner of that contest would be the number 2 and would be hosting a playoff game, and the loser would be in Lyman. And it was 28-21. I was getting texts from a couple of people around the school in Mountain View keeping me updated on that game as I was calling the volleyball game, and I thought it was under a minute left, and okay, well, I guess we've got Burns next week. Well, about a minute later, I get a text from Dustin Reese, athletics director in Mountain View. It's 29-28. Still less than a minute left, and it was like, I don't know if it was like 10 seconds, something like that, when they took the lead. It was not a whole lot of time left that Thermopolis had to work with, and wow, what a run down the field in just a couple of plays. If you were Thermopolis, they opted to squib kick after their touchdown, and that gave Burns decent field position at the 38-yard line, and then a little gain got him across the 50 into the 45, and that led to that little Hail Mary throw down the field for the touchdown. And you second guess that. Maybe if a situation like that comes up again, you think maybe we don't do that. But the reason for the squib kick was that you didn't want any big plays to happen in the kick return. So you got to just move on and say, wow, what a good play by Burns, and hats off to them. Well, we appreciate Mac McPhee joining us for that, and when we'll come back, we'll hear from Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles. Here on the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show, this is a First Bank presentation of Eagles football on MyLocalRadio.com. It's the quarterfinals, kicking off at the top of the hour. With MyLocalRadio.com, you get to stay up to date with Lyman and Mountain View sports by watching all of the games live in the convenience of your own home. Now you get to keep up with your coaches, athletes, and teachers throughout the week with the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner. Weekdays during the school year, the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner will run on KNYN 99.1 FM at 3 p.m. and keep you up to date with the most interesting storylines from Lyman and Mountain View in football, volleyball, basketball, swimming, running, golf, and more. We'll also check in with different students and teachers from the two schools throughout the year. 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on KNYN 99.1 FM is the Bridger Valley Coaches Show presented by MyLocalRadio.com. Stay connected.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Playoff football has made its return to Lyman, Wyoming, and when we come back, we'll close out the Jaegers Auto Body pregame show by hearing from Dale Anderson, head man for the home team in today's contest. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles football on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
I have Dale Anderson, head coach of the Lyman Eagles football program, a home playoff game for you after a couple of year droughts. And that is all capped off with a 6-0 win over Big Piney. What was that contest like to coach in for you?
It was a pretty fun game. It's kind of what we expected. We expected it to be kind of a a knockdown, drag-out battle, and it proved to be just that. So it was kind of a fun game. We told our kids going in that, it basically was a playoff game, so let's treat it like that.
You get a second quarter breakaway touchdown run by Hagen Lamro that ends up really being the only points of the game. What was it that opened up on that run?
We'd had a couple of runs before that were close to going, but just a couple of good blocks, and Hagen's a good instinctual runner, was able to hit the cutback, and he's a good hard runner, and it paid off on that run.
At the very first game of the year, there was a goal line stand against Pinedale at the end of the game that set you up in this final week of the season to be playing for a home playoff game. And the game starts against Big Piney with them on the 2-yard line, and you get another goal line stand. How was your defense able to stall that offense from 2 yards out?
Just a great effort by our defense and our kids understanding, game preparation and knowing a couple of their tendencies down on the goal line. And, it's a credit to our defensive coaches and our kids for doing their homework and make sure they knew what was going on, and great effort also on our kids' part. I thought just in general, not only there but throughout the game, our defense was kind of the group that put it together and allowed us to win that.
Well, killing you early was kind of the slants up the middle in the passing game for Big Piney, but the pressure on the QB that you got took away the pass. And were there adjustments that you made throughout that game that switched that fortune?
Yeah, that was the thing. You always have a game plan going in, and then you always have to tweak that and make adjustments. And Coach Bradshaw did a great job of making some adjustments, getting our kids moved into some places to take those routes away and force them. We wanted to try to force them to have to run on us, and luckily it worked out where the adjustments were correct, and kids performed well with the adjustments. Made the mental adjustments as well as the physical adjustments, so it was good.
Well, you haven't seen Thermopolis this year on the field, but what have you seen out of them as you've been preparing for them this week?
Oh, they're big. Holy cow, they're big up front, and they got a really athletic quarterback. They got some receivers that can run and catch, and a big running back. So they're a pretty sound team. Just all the way around. You look at that side of the state, and it was kind of like our side for that 2, 3, and 4 spots. There wasn't necessarily a bad team out of that. So anybody we picked up, we knew would be a good contest for us. So, they'll.
And we have to cut it right there as we are underway here. The kickoff is Lyman's, and it's returned by Thermopolis. Rody Farrell going up the middle at the 35-yard line, finding this left sideline. Preston Brewer tackles him down close to the 40, and that's where we start our scene. No score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and you'll notice this week's Benedict's Market and True Value board is a little bit different than last, as we'll give you the starters for Thermopolis and Lyman momentarily. We had a couple of difficulties getting on today, and one thing not working or the other, but we're here now, and so thank you to Dale Anderson and Matt McPhee for joining us pregame. I've got an update that it's 35-0 after one quarter. Mountain View leads Wheatland. First play under center at the 42-yard line. And Dustin Harvey in the shotgun, has a man in motion to the left, and he'll sweep it around right side. It's Farrell, the blocker, leading the way at the 45, forward past the 50. Brewer brings him down, but across the 50-yard line. And for a gain of at least 10, maybe 12, something like that, a first down for Thermopolis on their first play. Line of scrimmage, I said, was at the 42 at the near side of the 40, the 50, and then they get it down to the 46-yard line. So a 12-yard run for Dustin Harvey on the first carry from scrimmage. 12-yard gain for Dustin Harvey, the starting quarterback who took over as a quarterback after an early season injury. Sweep left side, Logan Cole up the middle, and he sweeps out to the right, and he's across the 30-yard line. No, make that the 40, inside. And he's tackled down inside about the 38. So from the 46, a gain of 9 for Logan Cole on the first carry for him. 2 plays and about 21 yards of scrimmage. Ball marked on the 37. So far we've seen Harvey and Cole. We'll also see Jace Longwell at running back. Shotgun form left side. Man in motion is Blake Williams. Roll out to the left side in a reverse sweep. To the right is Cole with it. Into the 35. First down, still on his feet. Stiff arms the man. Finds the right sideline to the 30. Inside to the 20. Still on his feet. Inside the 10. And he races for the pylon. It's close. But I think the ball was just to the right of the pylon. And it'll be marked down at about the 1 or 2 yard line. 10:23 in the first quarter. The first quarter brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor and the big Thermopolis Bobcats offense coming out with a bang early on. Mark it on the 1, let's say. First down and goal. Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. The clock stopped at 10:23 with the first down and the chains moving. Clock will resume. No, he was out of bounds, so it'll stay stopped until the snap. Harvey in center. Cole to his right. Handoff faked one way, goes to the other. Farrell with it. Out right side, trying to find the end zone. And Lyman holds on first down and goal. Last week, Lyman had their defense inside their own 2 as Big Piney was driving in on their first drive. 4 downs and holding them from 2 yards out. That was the difference maker in that game. And it's on the 2 yard line on the no gain. Rody Farrell with the no gain. Second down and goal. This time Harvey under center. Pushing it forward himself. Looks like he lost control of the ball for a bit. Didn't lose the ball on a fumble. Pyle moving forward and waiting for a sideline official call. No hands in the air yet for a touchdown, and another stand on Lyman's defensive part on second down. Brings up third down and goal. No score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board here in Lyman, Wyoming. Quarterfinal 2A action. 1 yard away on the quarterback keeper. Bridger Valley Motor bringing you first quarter action. 9:18 as they come to the line of scrimmage. I formation for Harvey under center. One receiver to the left side and a quarterback keeper again. Rody Farrell signals touchdown, and so does the near sideline official. Touchdown, Thermopolis, and it's 6-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thermopolis scores in quick fashion down the field. The drive started at, we were at about the 42-yard line, so a 58-yard drive. It takes about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. 9:08 on the clock. Harvey setting up to hold the point after. The kick is up, and it's through the uprights. 7-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bridger Valley Motor bringing you first quarter action, and Thermopolis has the lead. 7-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
A common thread no matter where you live in Wyoming is that if you're heading somewhere, it's probably going to be a while until you get there. A lot can go wrong on these long road trips across this great state. And if you ever find yourself broke down on the side of the road, it's time to call Glade Erickson at Bridger Valley Motor to come pick you up day or night. Bridger Valley Motor offers 24-hour towing services. If you need a tow, you need to call Glade on his cell phone at 307-780-3280. Bridger Valley Motor is here to pick you up if your lift ever lets you down. 307-780-3280.
Quick drive for Thermopolis has them leading 7-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jorge Aguirre with the point after the 1 yard touchdown into the end zone by Dustin Harvey. 58 yards on 4 plays, make it 6-play drive for Thermopolis. 14 yards from Harvey, 44 from Logan Cole, most of that coming from the big sweep. From the left to the right, Thermopolis in the white jerseys, purple pants, kicks off to Lyman in the blue jerseys, white pants. It's fielded up the middle by Preston Brewer. He runs up a small wedge to about the 30-yard line, and the drive stops maybe a yard past that. It was Hagen Lamoureux, on the kick return, and Lyman out for their first drive of the day. Starters for the Lyman Eagles: Carter Smith at quarterback, Hagen Lamoureux running back, hybrid tight end Preston Brewer. Receivers: Blake Palmer, Jet Dickerson, Richard Brewer, McCoy Smith, and Alex Bradshaw. And linemen: Christofferson, Gines, Richards, Bradshaw, and Heaton. First down and 10. Ball marked on the 32. Handoff up the middle. It's Lamoureux with some room to run. Races forward past the 45-yard line, and a first down and 10 for Lyman on their first play. The first play for Thermopolis was a gain of 12 yards. This one's pretty similar. From the 32 to the 47, give him 15 on the play. Hagen Lamoureux leading the way rushing for Lyman throughout the season. 705 yards, including 10 touchdowns on the ground. Had the lone touchdown in last week's win against Big Piney. Shotgun form. Brewer to the right, moves in motion to the left. Lamoureux, the back, takes the handoff out to the right side, bounces right side of guard, looking for a little bit of space, maybe got 2 yards, close to the 50-yard line. First quarter action brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. If you're in need of a check, you got a check engine light, in need of getting that tested out, see, well, got an O2 sensor, got some serious problem. Those check engine lights could be scary. Well, don't be afraid. Take it down to Slim at Bridger Valley Motor and have him check it out. He'll run through the diagnostics. It's a 3-yard gain on first down for Hagen Lamoureux, and it's 18 yards on 2 carries. Shotgun again. Man in motion, Brewer, faked. Carter Smith takes it out left side. Tried to find a little bit of space. Jaron Mortimer says no, and Smith probably still slowed up a little bit from that LCL sprain with the left knee brace on. Mortimer was able to tackle him up, wrap him down, and bring it back for a loss of 1. Negative 1-yard carry for Carter Smith. His top-end speed isn't prolific. He's more of a power runner, but he looked a little slower and maybe hampered by that left knee braces. Those can certainly be cumbersome. It's 3rd down and 9. Ball marked at about the 47, 48-yard line in between there. 9 yards to go. Got to get across to the 43-yard line. Handoff to Smith. It's a quarterback keeper to the 50, to the 46, and stopped a couple of yards short. Possibly in the quarterfinals here, we could see our first 4th down attempt to go for it from the Lyman Eagles. Ball marked just beyond the 45-yard line, so give him a gain of 7 on the play. A good 3rd down run for Smith, just a little bit short. Need to get about 3 more yards. 7-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thermopolis scoring on 6 plays on their opening drive. Pistol form on 4th down, and indeed we do see Lyman going for it. Smith, the quarterback. Mortimer bringing pressure around the right side. Handoff to Lamoureux. And up the middle, nowhere to go. Lamoureux is stopped after a pickup of just 1 yard. A turnover on downs for Thermopolis has the Bobcats fired up. 1 yard gain for Lamoureux. Puts the ball on the 45-yard line where now Thermopolis stands 55 yards from pay dirt. The starters for the Thermopolis Bobcats at quarterback Dustin Harvey, fullback Logan Cole, Jace Longwell seeing time at running back along with Rhodey Farrell. He was the one getting the start today. At running back, we ran through them. Wing back, we've got Blake Williams. He'll also split out in a receiver set. Cade McLean at wide receiver, Jaron Mortimer at tight end, Remington Faree, Spencer Axtell, Oren Coyne, Riley Schaefer, and Jason Klaus. Those are your linemen. Give the defensive starters when we get a chance. Harvey in the shotgun, has Williams coming around right side. Fakes the handoff, the lefty up the middle, in and out of the hands of Mortimer at the 45-yard line. And a big miss for Jaron Mortimer at the middle of the field. And certainly a way to exploit Lyman, at least it was last week in the early part of the contest, was to get them up the middle. Big Piney was running slant play after slant play, and they were not getting into the end zone, but they were gaining yards in big chunks. Well, Lyman was able to get pressure around the ends and through the blitz, and that kind of took them out of it. But with 6:13 left in the first quarter, a 7-0 lead for Thermopolis, and a big miss for Mortimer to try to step on the throat early of the Lyman defense. 2nd down and 10. Ball marked down the 45. Harvey fakes the handoff, rolls out to the left side. That's the way he throws. Tucks and runs, and looking for some space up the sideline. Fackrell misses a tackle. Allows Harvey to get about 10 yards upfield to the left sideline, and should be enough for a first down. Depending on the spot and where he went out of bounds, the chains do move, and a 10-yard, make it an 11-yard pickup for Harvey. 4th run already for Dustin Harvey, 25 yards. 6:04 and ticking away. As soon as the snap will come up, the clock is stopped as the ball went out of bounds. 7-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thermopolis leading Lyman here in the 2A quarterfinals. Shotgun form for Harvey has Logan Cole to the left of him in the gun. 2 receivers to the right side. It's Williams and McLean. And a fake handoff. Harvey keeps it to the 45, 40, 35, still on his feet, pushing forward, and another first down as the the pile stops about 2 yards beyond first down yardage. We'll mark him for another 12 yards for Dustin Harvey, working well, and Logan Cole a power back, but with some speed as well as we saw. Well, Dustin Harvey's got a decent amount of power and speed as well. 5:45, ball marked on the 29-yard line. First down and 10. And yeah, take it back. I'm reading these wrong. These markers are very difficult. It's not in the 29, it's at the 34-yard line. Shotgun form, Cole to the right of the gun. It's a direct snap to Cole. He takes it up the middle. Lyman sniffed that one out pretty quickly. A minimal gain, if any. Maybe 1 yard. Roe Meekum, number 80, the defensive end, along with Hagen Lamoureux in on the tackle as we'll give you the starters for the Lyman defense now. On the defensive line, Hanson Bradshaw and Matt Wolford are inside, along with got Jet Dickerson at nose tackle. That's not right, but Jet Dickerson is a linebacker in there. Hunter Gines, Braxton Saby, Preston Brewer, Roe Meekum playing on that defensive end hybrid linebacker side. Richard Brewer and McCoy Smith are your corners. Hagen Lamro at linebacker as well, and Blake Palmer at safety. 2nd down and 6, as we'll give a 4-yard gain on first down. Sweep around right side. Blake Williams up the middle. Not a lot of space. Cuts back inside. Nobody's going to catch him. Into the end zone. Touchdown Thermopolis from about 29 yards out. A 29-yard run for Blake Williams. And it's 13-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 29-yard score for Blake Williams, the wingback, sweeping around on the motion play, left side over to the right. He found a lot of movement up the middle of the field, and now we have Jorge Aguirre coming out for point after attempt number 2. 13-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. The extra point is good, and it is 14-0 as we'll take a break here in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. A shutout early for Thermopolis, the number 3 from the east, beating number 2 from the west. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
It's 14-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board as we welcome you back to Lyman, Wyoming, where the Eagles are set to receive their second kickoff of the day. They kicked to start. Thermopolis took it 58 yards down the field on the first drive. This one, a 55-yard drive on number 2. Harvey punts it up the middle, fielded at the 35-yard line by McCoy Smith. He's got some wheels close to the 45 where he is stalled. And Lyman starts at the 44 on their third drive of the day. I'll take that back. Their second drive of the day, second kickoff. First one was a turnover on downs. They were stopped about 2 yards shy of the first down yardage needed. This one right at the 45-yard line. 4:37, make it 4:30 remain in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. Shotgun form, Brewer in motion. Handoff goes left side to Lamro, up the middle to the 50, 45, still on his feet. Pile driving forward to the 40 and pushed forward for a first down and a gain of about 16 yards on the first play. Well, Lamro got a gain of 12 on his first run. Gets about 16 on this. And yardage for Lamro certainly not been in short supply early. 53 yards on 6 carries. 4:21 left in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter, though, and Lyman down by 2 scores, 14-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Shotgun again. Brewer motion to the left. Quarterback keeper Smith looking for a hole, rolling around right side, and not too much space to go for. He's stopped pretty quickly on the defensive back line there. It was number 64, Remington Ferree, getting the tackle for Thermopolis. 2nd down and 9 for Lyman. And a mistake there. It was 33 yards on 4 carries for Hagen Lammer on the previous drive. I was adding it on to Dustin Harvey's total. So not quite as quick a start for Lamro as I initially reported there. 7 yards for Smith. A 2nd down and 9. Ball at about the 39-yard line. Up the middle, Lamro takes it. And Ferree again in on a big tackle there. He had a little bit of space and then ripped back forward. Also in on the tackle, Riley Schaefer. Give him, let's say, 1 yard again, down to the 38, maybe the 37. Be generous there, and 2 yards for Carter Smith, for Lamero. 35 on 5 carries for Hagen. Checking into the huddle for Lyman is Richie Brewer. 3:15 remains in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter, 14-0. Lyman trails Thermopolis. 2-3, Lyman getting a home game for the first time in several years after 2 years out, and a timeout taken by Coach Dale Anderson and the Lyman Eagles. We'll take it with them. 14-0 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Just got an update from Dustin Reese, Athletics Director in Mountain View. It's 65-0. Mountain View leads Wheatland in the second quarter. We're almost to the end of the first quarter here, 3:06 in Lyman, as we've got Lyman versus Thermopolis. And you get that many touchdowns, that game goes on and on and on. A running clock in store for Wheatland in their season comes to a stall. 3rd down and 8 to go. Carter Smith heels back, throws it into single coverage, has Blake Palmer in his hands, but out. Rody Farrell, no, that was Dustin Harvey, rather, with the pass break up there, and I think it was with the top of his helmet. He broke that play up at 3 minutes even. 4th down and 9. Let's see what Lyman does here. Probably going for it again, although you got to be cautious, as you definitely don't want – you've seen how Thermopolis can roll down the field. They're going to not play the field position game here. It's going for it. 4th down and 8 to go. Ball on the 38 marker. Shotgun form. Lamoureux to the right of Smith. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Smith fakes it is a handoff. A delayed handoff to Hagan. Lamoureux gets nowhere. A loss of 2 on 4th down, and give it back to Thermopolis on the 40-yard line. Wow, well, that was surprised me, and I think the element of surprise is what Lyman was going for there, but didn't quite work out, as Lamoureux had nowhere to work with. 33 yards for Lamoureux. Marked on the 45. Here comes Thermopolis out for another drive. Under center, 2-back set. Cole the fullback. And is that Longwell or Farrell, the tailback? Either way, it's a rollout to the left side. Harvey in a little wheel route out to Blake Williams. It's caught and past the 50-yard line, depending on where he went out of bounds. Should be enough for a first down. From the 40 to the 50, it's a 10-yard, no, still moving it. Maybe a 12-yard pickup. First throw of the day for Harvey is good. And they'll mark it a 12-yard pickup. Williams was racing down the left sideline. His first catch of the day on this season. That is, take a look, catch number 9, I believe. Catch number 11 on the season for Harvey, or for Williams to Harvey. Eye back again. Harvey looks the handoff. It's into the hands of Rody Farrell. He's forward to about the 43 and pick up about 6 or 7 on the first down play. 2:35 left in the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter. It's 14-0. Lyman trailing Thermopolis here on their home field, as Lyman getting a home game for the first time in at least half a decade. 6-yard pickup on first down for Rody Farrell. His first positive gain of the day. Thermopolis certainly has had no shortage of positive plays in this contest. 2:13. Back to the line of scrimmage. Eye back situation and a handoff left side. Cole on a fullback trap to the left. He's across the first down yard marker and then bounces outside for about 6 or 7 more. Inside the 35 and marked at the 34. 9-yard gain. 8-yard pickup for Cole. Coming into the day, Thermopolis ranked 2 in the state in passing and kind of middle of the road in rushing, but I guess I didn't see this running game working as well as it had so far, at least, as Lyman's been pretty tough against the run. And over the pass, I thought Thermopolis would kind of come out and throw it. Maybe they saw that and did the reverse psychology. Handoff again. Rody Farrell sweeping around right side. Richie Brewer can't get him down. Preston Brewer does. And tackled at the 30. Another 3 or 4. And mark it for 4 more for 3 pickup on first down. 72-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board in the second quarter. The JV just got a touchdown on Wheatland in the second quarter. 1:08 and ticking away. Ball marked on the 30. Shotgun. Cole to the left. 3 receivers, 2 to the right. It's flush pocket. Harvey tucking and running. He's got a lane. Out to the 20. Pushing forward, a big stiff arm as he goes out of bounds. First down pickup for Dustin Harvey. Ball was spotted at about the 30, and he's taken down. These yard markers are so difficult to read. You got to read them down and give him 10 on the play for Harvey. 47 yards on, now 6 carries for Dustin Harvey. Final minute of the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter has Thermopolis driving once again. Up 2 scores over Lyman. Lyman in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. And in trouble early on. Not as big a trouble as Wheatland is. 72-0 they trail. Mountain View still in the first half. That game kicked off at 1 p.m. I formation. Harvey hands off. Left side is Jace Longwell seeing his first carry of the day and no gain on that play. Maybe the last of the first. They may get one more. About 35 seconds left in the first quarter, brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. After that, we'll have the Big Country Properties second quarter. No gain for Jace Longwell. Lyman in the volleyball realm lost in 4 sets to Lander. That means that they have to play against Lovell, I think, at 4 o'clock today. Mountain View, last I heard, up 1 set to none over Powell. Those games happening in Lander will be there tomorrow to bring you the day 2 matches. Harvey under center, a single back formation, has Williams sweeping around to the right side. That's the way the handoff goes. It's to Longwell. He's got wheels on his feet and tripped up in about the 10, maybe just inside. Again, it becomes a mud pit as we end the Bridger Valley Motor first quarter with a foul. So may have one more play on a spot foul. Flag is down at the 13, and it's against Thermopolis. First penalty of the day. And that should end as it's a penalty against the offense there. The second quarter will turn things around and have our teams going the other way. It's still 14-0, though, on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thermopolis leads Lyman. Big Country Properties second quarter coming up after this.
A common thread no matter where you live in Wyoming is that if you're heading somewhere, it's probably going to be a while until you get there. A lot can go wrong on these long road trips across this great state. And if you ever find yourself broke down on the side of the road, it's time to call Glade Erickson at Bridger Valley Motor to come pick you up day or night. Bridger Valley Motor offers 24-hour towing services. If you need a tow, you need to call Glade on his cell phone at 307-780-3280. Bridger Valley Motor is here to pick you up if your lift ever lets you down. 307-780-3280.
Having on time down here as it's the end of the first, but one last play. Ball on about the 19. And a dropout throw to Logan Cole completed. And a big tackle at the pad level. Ends the quarter. Briggs Richards ends the first quarter, brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. And now we will flip sides, and it'll be third down and about 12 to go when we return. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com.
A common thread no matter where you live in Wyoming is that if you're heading somewhere, it's probably going to be a while until you get there. A lot can go wrong on these long road trips across this great state. And if you ever find yourself broke down on the side of the road, it's time to call Glade Erickson at Bridger Valley Motor to come pick you up day or night. Bridger Valley Motor offers 24-hour towing services. If you need a tow, you need to call Glade on his cell phone at 307-780-3280. Bridger Valley Motor is here to pick you up if your lift ever lets you down. 307-780-3280.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
We welcome you back to Lyman High School on a Friday afternoon, a chilly one, but not as bad as it was earlier this week when we were into single digits, close to 40 degrees, real feel sitting at about 46. Pretty calm outside as the wind's starting to pick up just a little bit. It's third down and 12 as now Thermopolis moving from right to left on the dial as Lyman's defense in a situation where they're trying to hold on 2 down territory. Harvey fakes a handoff up the middle. He was at the 22, and he moves just across the 20 into about the 19. Brings up 4th down, and we will see for the spot 9 yards to go on a 3-yard pickup by Dustin Harvey. 4th, and why not go for it unless Jorge Aguirre has got quite a leg on him. Opportunity early on in the second quarter, brought to you by Big Country Properties for Lyman to get a defensive hold. Jace Longwell is the halfback. Logan Cole split out to the right side. It's a 4-receiver set. Mortimer on the left. Harvey moves out to the right, looking to throw with the left hand across his body. Completed to Cole. No, it's dropped by Logan Cole right in and out of his hands on a cold Friday afternoon. And a turnover on downs at 11:15 gives Lyman a little bit of hope. Harvey, with his first incompletion of the day, goes for a turnover on downs. And drive stalls at the 19. Started at the 40, so in all, pretty good yardage still picked up. 11:15 remain in the Big Country Properties second quarter. Carter Smith out for the 3rd Lyman drive. Shotgun snap perfect to Lamoureux. And he breaks through one tackle, pushes forward for another big stuff. A flag comes in the backfield as it's initially at about the 30-yard line, but probably coming back as the spot of the foul's at the 20. And it is holding on Lyman. Back them up to probably first down and 19. They were on the 19-yard line, and it looked like the spot was at the 20. So 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Just 2 penalties. Well, it's first down and 19 for Lyman, and not the best. Now starting to be a little bit pinned inside their own end zone on the 10. Shotgun handoff to Lamoureux. He jukes to the right, and Rody Farrell comes up with a big hit at about the 13. Minimal gain as Hagan Lamoureux had a little bit of space. Stutter stepped over to the right and then was quickly brought down. A good tackle by the freshman. Out to the 14. Second down and let's say 15 to go. 38 yards for Lamoureux. First down is at the 29. 10:22 left in the Big Country Properties second quarter. 14-0 the score. Low shotgun snap out to the left. Smith has Palmer on a little end out route. Completed across the 20 to about the 23 and into the snow pile that surrounds the field on all edges as we had players shoveling the field before this game to get it dry all the way around. First completed pass on the second attempt by Carter Smith out to, let's say, the 24. Yeah, let's say that's the 24. Has a decent little pickup there from the 14. 10-yard pickup for Smith to Palmer. Need to get to the 29. 3rd down and 5. Look out right side. A throw is off target and picked off at the 20. Down to the end zone. Jackson Jensen scores on the pick 6. And it's 20-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Jackson Jensen scores on the jumped route. And Thermopolis has taken control, seized this quarterfinal playoff contest. Extra point upcoming by Jorge Aguirre. Jackson Jensen, a defensive hero early on in the second quarter. 9:25 the time of the score. A pick 6, and Aguirre lines up for the point after. And the kick is up and just has enough. Aguirre barely got it over on a little punch over, but it's 21-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board here in the Big Country Properties second quarter. We'll be back with more after this. 9:25 left in the second quarter on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. We invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
The difficulties continue for this Lyman offense as a pick 6 on 3rd down and 5 goes to Jackson Jensen, who dances on into the end zone. Jensen in today's game, he's just a junior, getting the race in and beat everyone down the field. Kickoff fielded at the 18 by Richie Brewer to the 20, the 30, up the middle to the 38 where he's tackled by the toes. And Lyman starts one more time. A little bit of promise for Lyman was building, and then that, of course, goes away with the pick 6. Now the ball's marked at the 37. And we have 9:19 left in the Big Country Properties second quarter. Big Country Properties invites you to go visit bigcountryproperties.com or give Bobby Dozal a call at 782-3356. Ball marked on the 37. And try again for Lyman. Pitch out to the left side and trying to find some space is Lamoureux, and not much to be found. Maybe to the 40, and that's where they get him to at the end of the day. Pickup of make it 2. 2nd down and 8 for Lamoureux on the run, 40 yards on 9 carries. Just under 9 minutes left in the Big Country Properties. Second quarter, Big Country Properties is the #1 listing and selling agency in the Bridger Valley, whether that's commercial, residential, land, or ranch. Shotgun form, low snap. Smith out right side to run, has Preston Brewer in space, overthrows him at the 45, and it's 3rd down and 8 upcoming. Had Brewer right open and just over-tossed him as the junior was turning and looking over his right shoulder. Had to jump up and couldn't get up to the ball. 3rd down and 8 to go. For first down marker at about the 47 to 48 mark. Carter Smith enters the huddle after getting the play call from head man Dale Anderson. Appreciated hearing from him in the pregame. 8:36 left in the Big Country Properties second quarter. 2 receivers to the left side, 2 to the right. 1 in the back is Lamoureux. Snap, chest high, flushed out of the pocket. Smith nowhere to go, and Logan Cole with the takedown. Wake that, it was Remington Ferree with the sack. He's pumped up as he gets back up and gets a chest bump from Dustin Harvey. That moves him all the way back to the 32. 8-yard loss, and 4th down, got to punt it away. It's Preston Brewer. Back to return for Thermopolis. At about the 37, we got a flag at the line of scrimmage. May back up Lyman even farther. There was movement at the line of scrimmage, and it signaled against Thermopolis, I believe. It is a Thermopolis penalty, 5 yards forward. So that gives them a little bit more room to work with, but certainly still no situation to go for it at the 36, 4th down and 11. Moves the punt return man back to about the 33. High snap and partially blocked. Touches down at the 50-yard line, rolls forward. Jackson Jensen letting that one go, and it's touchdown by Carter Smith at the 38. Another stalled drive for Lyman. 7:43 left in the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And we've got the ball marked at the 38-yard line as mentioned. 7:43 left in the Big Country Properties second quarter. 21-0. Lyman in charge of this game over, Thermopolis in charge of this game over Lyman. Back to the line of scrimmage. Try it one more time. Thermopolis been rolling through this contest so far. Cole the single back with Harvey in the gun. Man in motion is Farrell. Takes the sweep end around right side. Has some blocking up the right sideline. Cuts in at the 45. Still on his feet across the 50 and pushed out by a couple of Eagles just across the 50, maybe down to the 48. Richie Brewer in on the tackle there. I think Lamoureux was there as well. Clock stops at 7:32. And the gain all the way forward to the 48. Another first down on the first play from scrimmage on the drive for Thermopolis. 14-yard pickup. for Farrell on the sweep end around. So far for Thermopolis, their drives have gone touchdown, touchdown, turnover on downs, but then on that ensuing drive, a pick six got them the touchdown on the Jackson Jensen return. Single back gun, man in motion is Williams. High snap pitch to the inside, and well, I'm not sure who had it. It was a reverse to the right. Maybe Cole with it. Either way, he's brought down for a loss by Chevy Fackrell. It was Logan Cole with the carry, and he loses about 2. Under 7 minutes. Clock stopped for one reason or another. Do we have a penalty perhaps? And we do. It's a face mask against Lyman. Whether it's 5 or 15 determines the market. Looks like an incidental contact. A 5-yard mark-off to the 45. Moves them just across the 50. Thermopolis already with a 3-touchdown lead. And again, inside enemy Lyman territory. Almost halfway through the Big Country Properties second quarter. At halftime, we'll hear from Brescia Hansen. Her Lyman Eagles volleyball program suffered a tough loss to Lander this morning. They play again to keep their hopes alive for state. Harvey out left side. Throws looked like it was under the intended receiver of Cade McLean, and it touched down at the ground before it went into the hands of McLean at the 24. Brings up second down. Oh, it was Eli McCumber. Thank you. It was 33, not 23. 6:35 in the second quarter, brought to you by Big Country Properties. All Thermopolis so far, they've scored on their first 2. Stalled last time. Here on their fourth drive, you have Rhodey Farrell on second down and 7 as the single back to the left of Harvey. 2 receivers to the left. Cole comes in motion from the right. Takes the sweep end around. Has the lead blocker of Farrell. Looking for real estate up the left sideline. Finds a bit of it out to the 40. And it'll be third down and about 2 or 3 short yardage to go with across the 50. You figure 4 down territory. To the 40. A pickup of 5. And third down and 3 to go. 55 yards for Logan Cole. He had the big breakout of 35 on his second carry. That got Thermopolis down inside the red zone and led to their first touchdown, a 1-yard punch in by Dustin Harvey. That was about 9:08 left in the first quarter. That was brought to you by Bridger Valley Motor. I formation, 2 receivers bunched up to the left. Single back is up the middle. It's Farrell. He breaks through the line of defense. Off to the races. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Thermopolis. 27-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A 40-yard run. Make it right there. 40-yard run for Rhodey Farrell. Pushes his totals up to 64 yards on his 5th carry. And the clock stops at 5:39. Jorge Aguri for the extra point. It was a bad snap, but it was handled, and it's through the uprights. 5:39 left in the Big Country Properties second quarter, and it's a blowout in the making here in Lyman, Wyoming. Thermopolis up by 4 touchdowns, 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
We're here to help strengthen our community. Yes, that's right. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we take pride in belonging to our community. We encourage people of every race, gender, and belief to come together and give their all towards the betterment of our community. It's about people helping people. When you join our credit union, you also join a movement. At Trona Valley, we are thankful for our members, member NCUA, Trust NCUA, a credit union system that is safe, sound, and secure.
$28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And Dustin Harvey back to kick off one more time. Jorge Agure, the point after man. Dustin Harvey, the boot it deep guy. Quarterback and linebacker for this Thermopolis Bobcats team, putting themselves in great shape in the first half here to advance on to next week's semifinals against what would be Buffalo. At the 20-yard marker, it's picked up by Richie Brewer, and he gets stuck at the 30. He was slowing down, trying to change his direction, and Carson Williams came in and stuffed him down backwards. Drive starts at the 30-yard marker for Lyman. Lyman's 5th drive comes at 5:35. Smith in the gun, one single back as Lamoureux takes the handoff up the middle, not too much space. Remington Ferree kind of stuffing up a lot of that space. The pile continuing to move, and a small gain finally. Tackled down on the tackle there. It was Matthew Daniels. And they'll give him maybe 2 or 3 on the play. Mark it for maybe even 4 yards. A 4-yard pickup by Lamoureux. Tough running there by the senior. Lamoureux changed from being a quarterback the last couple of years to being a running back. He was primarily a running quarterback in this system, but he's done a nice job sitting over 10 touchdowns on the season, and I think he threw for 1 as well, didn't he? Low snap to Lamoureux, and a loss of all the yards he just picked up, make it 3rd down and 10 on the negative. Behind only Mountain View coming into this contest, Thermopolis ranks 2nd in 2A in tackles for a loss, so not surprising to see as they had Mountain View in the 80s or 90s. Thermopolis had 53 tackles for a loss marked on the year. They give them some forward progress, so it makes it a loss of just 1 yard at the end of the day for Lamoureux on his 11th carry. Low snap to Smith, looking to throw out to the right, has single coverage. Palmer at the 40. He reaches up, grabs it, and he's toe tackled down at the 27-yard line. Just picked up by Blake Williams. Otherwise, it was pay dirt for Blake Palmer. I'll mark it down at the 29. Maybe even a little bit inside there. It's making it about the 25 or 26. 30-yard pass play, making a 31-yard pass for Carter Smith. And it was single coverage, and, well, let me tell you what, Blake Palmer really had to earn that play. Out to his right side. He had to reach over the back of Williams. We're at the 25, 1st down and 10. First sign of life for the Lyman offense. Handoff is stopped by Daniels. Lamoureux had nowhere to go, and at the line of scrimmage, you may need to go elsewhere than the middle with Remington Ferree and Matthew Daniels up the middle for Thermopolis. There is absolutely nowhere to run, and the offensive line for Lyman clearly outsized Hanson Bradshaw, the biggest guy out there. He is significantly smaller than Remington or Matthew, and you see Hanson hanging around. He's not a small kid. Carter Smith comes out to the huddle. Blake Palmer on the line of scrimmage to the right of the receiver. Getting the play and then standing up. He'll have single coverage against Blake Williams. Stuffed up box for Thermopolis as just one receiver to the right side. 2nd down and 11. Handoff to Lamoureux. He tries to find some space again up the middle. This time it's Mortimer bringing him down. Mortimer, a big guy as well after the negative 1-yard run for Lamoureux. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage and then another yard. Picks up 2. 44 yards for Lamoureux on 13 carries, and it's 3rd down and 9 to go. 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 2nd quarter brought to you by Big Country Properties. And it looks like a run play again by the way the box is set up. It's a single back stuffed up. No. Smith to throw. Back. Kaz Palmer overthrows him, but can Palmer chase it down? No. There was some pushing by Blake Williams, and there is a flag down to signal pass interference. A little push by Blake Williams is probably the call against Blake Palmer to give Lyman the free 1st down. 2:36. Time on the clock in the Big Country Properties. 2nd quarter, 28-0 the score. And Lyman getting one big catch by Palmer, and he just was toe tackled by Blake Williams. Otherwise, it was to the end zone. Just misses on another, but he is offended by Blake Williams with the pass interference call. Pass interference moves it forward 15 yards. Not a spot foul in high school like it is in the NFL. So we get forward to the 12. Again, the markers are just about invisible on that side of the field. We're moving from left to right, so the south end zone really tough to see any yard markers. A timeout taken by Lyman. 1st and 10 when we come back from the 11-yard line. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires or anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
28-0 in the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard in the Big Country Properties second quarter. 28-0, but Lyman down by 4 scores with a chance here on the 11-yard line. First down and 10, handoff to Lamoureux. He's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage on a handoff and now being pulled backwards by Riley Schaefer. The big defensive line has given no space up the middle for Lyman to find anywhere to go. 2:20 remain on the clock before halftime. They give him 1 yard on the play. 45 yards for Lamoureux. And it's really about second down and 9.5. Need to get just in front of the goal line for a first down. Low snap out to the left side. Has a little out route and overthrows Preston Brewer. A flag came in at the line of scrimmage as well from the far sideline official. Maybe holding. Let's see if it goes against Lyman. That was my initial thought, is that it was against Lyman, and may have a false start. It's backed up 5 yards. Illegal formation, the call for Lyman, and the penalty is declined. Third down and 9. 1:53 remains in the second quarter, brought to you by Big Country Properties. 28-0. Lyman looking to get their first score into the day against this big Thermopolis defense. And you can get a little momentum here if you do. If you don't, well, then you get the kickoff, I guess, to start the second half. Low snap to Smith. Third down and 9. Up the middle. In and out of the hands of Preston Brewer. And 4th and 9 coming up. Certainly going to go for it here. Lyman doesn't have the kicker. And you're too far in, no point in punting. About 10 yards from the end zone. 4th down and 9, 1:50 remain. Carter Smith taking his time along with Blake Palmer on the near sideline with Dale Anderson, the head coach. Now Palmer back to the line of scrimmage as Smith tells the rest of the offense the play. Roe Meekum, the tight end, to the right of the right tackle, Hunter Gines. Lamoureux and Brewer in the backfield. Out to the left side, it's Richie Brewer as the other receiver. Smith looking up the middle. It's tipped away, intended for Roe Meekum. And turnover on downs. Again, Thermopolis holds. So far, the downs and drives for Lyman have resulted in 3 turnover on downs and 1 pick six and 1 punt. Dale Anderson has the gloves on, but as always, he's got the shorts. Looking frustrated on the near sideline after yet another drive stalls. Just 10 yards this time from the end zone. 60 yards picked up on the drive. 1:47 left. Thermopolis takes over. Lyman with 1 timeout. Thermopolis, I believe, with all 3. To the left, there's 2 receivers. 1 to the right in the far side, and then 1 in the slot. And Jace Longwell, it appears, maybe someone else. Logan Cole takes a direct snap up the middle. He's barreling forward. Hunter Gines and Chevy Fackrell take him down, but probably close to a first down. Timeout number 1 taken by Thermopolis, it looks like. And yes, indeed. So the drive started at the 10, and that gains right about to the 20. No signal of a first down yet. No, there's a flag here on the near side, so there is no timeout. It's a hold against Thermopolis. So, no, it was not a timeout. Instead, a holding call. We'll mark it back from the spot of the foul, which is right at the line of scrimmage. That was about 5 yards out, so it should be about second down and 15. Well, it was 5 yards forward where the spot of the foul is, so they back them up 5. Back to the 5-yard line. 1:39 on the clock. Stops the clock for Thermopolis. 28-0, they lead Lyman. Late in the second quarter here, brought to you by Big Country Properties. 2 receivers left side. Cole and Harvey in the backfield. And it's the same play. Direct snap up the middle to Cole. He bounces out to the right side, has some space. A shoe goes flying. He races past Alex Bradshaw and touches himself down out of bounds past the first down marker by about 2 yards. Tiptoes the snow on the sideline, not wanting to get slipped up. Clock stops at 1:15. And again, Lyman is on their back heels trying to chase down this fast and powerful Thermopolis rushing attack. Give him a 17-yard pickup. And unofficially, 77 yards for Logan Cole. Ball out to the 23 or 24. Let's say the 24. .115, the clock stops. Still all 3 timeouts for Lyman. 2 receivers left side, 2 to the right. And Harvey's in the backfield. It looks like, is that Rhodey Farrell, I think, in the slot. So is that Jace Longwell, the single back, it looks like. Farrell goes from the left, then back to the right side. Harvey to throw. Gets flushed out of the pocket and tackled up for a sack. First sack of the day for the Lyman defensive line. It's Preston Brewer, and he's been a strong defensive end throughout the year. That puts him into double-digit sacks on the season, number 10 on the year. 1 minute left on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Marks him back about 4 yards. .40 seconds left, 2nd down and 15. Back to the 20. And make it 2nd and 14. I-back formation, Cole the fullback. Longwell, the tail, takes the handoff, sweeps around right side, back to about the line of scrimmage initially. Hagen Lamro takes him down for a pickup of 4. 20 seconds left, and it looks like Thermopolis may just end it right there. See if they do take a timeout. They're about 80 yards away from pay dirt. Probably the smart play to just let it go. 3 yards on the carry by Longwell. He's got 10 on the day. Clock down to 3 seconds left, and that's it for the Big Country Properties second quarter. A shutout in 2 quarters through. Thermopolis leads Lyman 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll be back with the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness halftime show right after this. Again, 28-0, Thermopolis over Lyman. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Whatever you need, it's likely that Bradshaw's and Lyman can help. Whether it's windows at home or new glass in your car, truck, SUV, or semi, Bradshaw's has it. Tires? Yes. All vehicles, ATVs, semis, and more. Bradshaw's offers a 24-hour towing service for everything large to small. And the Bradshaw Fitness Center is open 24/7. There's more, so always call Bradshaw's first. Whatever you need, it's likely they can help. 307-787-3450. Again, that's 307-787-3450.
Hello, this is Dr. McKay Frankham. As a dentist in Evanston for over 20 years now, my mission has always been to provide quality dental care for people of all ages at reasonable prices. I'm a detail-oriented person, and it's important to me to stay current on new dental procedures and protocols that can help my patients have the best experience and have the best results. Over the years, I've also worked to keep my overhead low so that I can pass those savings on to my patients. I believe everyone deserves quality dental care. Please call us today at 307-789-8910.
Because of you, I felt hopeless. I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance in Evanston. Whether it's home, life, renters, auto, or more, Jeff Piper is your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Black's Fork Dental, top-of-the-line dentistry available right in your backyard. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Welcome into the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show. 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board as Thermopolis has been running the ball all over. And coming into the game, I thought maybe, the second-ranked passing offense in the league would see the struggles Lyman has had defending the pass and come out and throw it. But really, Dustin Harvey's been held kind of quiet. He hasn't really been dialed up on too many passing plays. He's 2 of 4 for 12 yards on passing plays today, but on the ground it's been a different story. They are just piling it up. Logan Cole, 79 yards, 46 for Harvey, 64 yards for Rhodey Farrell, 10 from Jace Longwell, and then 1 carry for a 29-yard touchdown by Blake Williams. And the ground game has really been started off by the size of Thermopolis. We mentioned that in the pregame show, that certainly if you looked out on the field, Thermopolis was a whole heck of a lot bigger than Lyman. And up the middle, it's been offensively. They've been able to push forward and get stops and or get holes broken open for their runners. And also Logan Cole, he's a defensive lineman playing running back for this team. He's been bowling his way over guys. And Rhodey Farrell, not the biggest guy, but he runs really hard. He's just been outmatched on the offensive side. And then defensively, Lyman's been trying to find space up the middle, but it just hasn't gotten there. The holes are not there, and they may, as they try to open up and pass a little bit, they've gotten a couple plays here and there, but really 41 yards throwing by Carter Smith, 45 yards from Lamoureux, and that's all the offense that Lyman has to speak for compared to what we just ran you through for Thermopolis. We'll take a break here on the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show and come back with Brescia Hansen to have an extended conversation with her about Lyman. They're playing again at 4 o'clock in an elimination game, I think against Lovell. They're going to play Lovell, and if they advance onto that, they will play either Mountain View or Worland at 10 a.m. tomorrow for a loser-out, winner into state contest. We'll come back in here for Brescia Hansen here in the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness Halftime Show. After that, Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness offering auto, home, and glass repair, 24-hour towing, and a fitness center that never closes. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman Football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Whatever you need, it's likely that Bradshaw's and Lyman can help. Whether it's windows at home or new glass in your car, truck, SUV, or semi, Bradshaw's has it. Tires? Yes. All vehicles, ATVs, semis, and more. Bradshaw's offers a 24-hour towing service for everything large to small. And the Bradshaw Fitness Center is open 24/7. There's more, so always call Bradshaw's first. Whatever you need, it's likely they can help. 307-787-3450. Again, that's 307-787-3450.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Brescia Hansen joins me of the Lyman volleyball program. Your first round regional matchup is against Lander, a team that you defeated in 5 sets at the conference duels. Matchup number 2 this time around. What's your team preparing for?
Well, we did narrowly get by Lander at the duels, but I expect it to be equally as tough, if not harder, because they'll be playing on their home court. So we know that they have two good outside hitters where the majority of their balls go, and we're going to have to equal them in terms of offensive firepower and or try to neutralize some of what they're doing defensively.
Yeah, like you just said, for Lander round one, you play them on their own gym court, and last time you played them, it was on your gym. That being said, your biggest win came on the road. So overall, how do you think your team's performed road versus home this year?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked back at our record and kind of seen where we've gotten the most wins. We have had a lot of home games this year, and we have had a fairly successful season, and so I don't know that it really matters to my kids if we're home or on the road. The thing about being on the road, though, is that you have you're competing against a crowd as well. But with an 11:30 a.m. time, hopefully that won't be too much for us to compete with.
Your season ends with a loss to Mountain View. What were your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on that match were kind of certainly I was disappointed. We wanted to win that game, and we had prepared to win that game. My kids didn't execute some of the things that we had talked about in practice, that's for sure. But really, hats off to Mountain View. They played tough. They played really tough against us, and I would have liked for us to win that match, but they earned the win.
Now, you end up on the same side as Pinedale on your bracket. If you can get a chance to see them on Friday, that, of course, requires you to defeat a very tough Lander team first. But looking on how your bracket stacks up, Pinedale's very strong, Lander's very strong, but both teams that you've been able to get so far, does that help your team mentally, or is that more of a non-factor than I'm giving it credit for?
I mean, I think it does help my team mentally. My team's beat everybody at regionals with the exception of Mountain View. We haven't been able to get past them. And so I think that is a big deal to know that we can. Just whether or not we can do it again remains to be seen.
Now, I'll ask you this every now and again, but what sort of in-game stats or anything like that have you been focusing on as of late?
We always focus on the same ones, but in looking at the last time we played Lander, we had a pretty good hitting percentage. We killed a lot more balls than them, but we made a lot more hitting errors than them. We made 28 errors, and they only made 10. And that's something that I've already talked to my kids about yesterday, that we're going to have to try to clean up and not give away 28 points in a match.
Now, it's not always as a hitting error isn't always as simple as just that ball went out of bounds or, what have you. When you looked at that and broke it down, where do you think that the hitting, whether that's at any point of the ball being on your side of the possession, where could that have been a little better against Lander?
I mean, when I look at our stat keeping app, certainly puts the hitting errors on the hitter. But to go back and tease out, was it my hitter's fault? Did my setter get that ball in a bad spot? Was the dig out of defense put my setter in a compromised position? All of that all adds together. But I do expect my hitters, regardless of the ball that they get, to try to make the best of the situation. And so I guess I do put the ownership for those hitting errors on my hitters. But if there is issues in other places, we certainly need to address that too.
You mentioned they have a couple of good outsides in Lander, and I've seen them. They are strong, and they're certainly not something to be overlooked. Now, as far as your defense setting up against them, how do you feel about how they did last time, as opposed to maybe what you've seen since then that maybe they've improved upon, or what you're expecting?
Yeah, I mean, Lander has a couple athletic outside hitters that are going to swing at the ball hard in the seam of the block if there is a seam. So we're working hard this week on blocking and on closing the block. They also will try to exploit us down the line over a smaller setter, which we have. So we're working on a few things to maybe discourage and or take some of those things away from them.
You mentioned a seam, and that's it. if there's ever any space basically between the two blockers closing. Is that usually something that comes down to timing of whether or not there's a seam left for the hitter?
Yeah, I think it does come back to timing, and I think it also comes back to the variety of hitters the other team has. Not to discount their middles, but the majority of their balls do go to the outside. So that should give my middles more time to get to the outside. They should be expecting it more versus an offense where they spread the ball out a little more. It makes it harder for the middle to get out and actually close a block.
Well, good luck at regionals. It's Brescia Hansen, head coach for the Lyman volleyball program. You need 2 wins before, and hopefully for you, you do not get 2 losses. You finish out on a 6-game winning streak, then you get that loss to Mountain View. But as you go into regionals, I guess I'm wondering where are the spirits of this team sitting at with that loss as weighed with how much success they'd had just before that?
It certainly puts a damper on the success we had before that, but it doesn't neutralize it at all. I feel like my kids didn't play great at Mountain View, and Mountain View played great. And with that discrepancy, we still hung with them for the majority of the time. So I'm just trying to I've got kids that are positive, kids that like to play, kids that are pretty confident kids. So I think we'll see them bounce back this weekend.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Okay, I will try to.
Thank you to Brescia Hansen for joining us. It's 28-0 at the half. We are just about ready to start the third quarter. We'll take a break, and again, before we do, update you on what's happened in volleyball. Pinedale and Lander will face off in a semifinal matchup a little bit later today. Got that clock, got that up here, and they're playing in 2 gyms, so they're able to play some of these games simultaneously. Pinedale will play Lander at 4 p.m. in the main gym, and that's going to be the same time that Lyman is playing Lovell in the auxiliary gym. Actually, no, I've got them both in the main gym. I don't know exactly what's happening, but they're both listed at 4 o'clock one way or another. I think that's probably flipped around they should be in the auxiliary gym for that loser-out game. And Lyman, they need to win that game to advance on to tomorrow to play either Worland or Mountain View. Worland and Mountain View set to play at 6 o'clock in the semifinal, and that'll be simultaneous with the other consolation match, Big Piney and Powell. We'll take a break, be back in a minute with third quarter action. Thermopolis leading Lyman 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and this is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness halftime show closing out after this.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Third quarter about to start here as Thermopolis came back out. They put 3 minutes back onto the clock, and that actually allows us to catch up with some advertisement that we missed out on in the pregame as we had just a little bit of slow start there and had a miss here or a miss there. It's playoff time, always a little bit wild. And we'll take a quick break. And actually, no, never mind. Looks like Thermopolis is ready to go here. They're huddled up as Lyman will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. They are going to be defending the north end zone, heading from left to right. Their blue jerseys, blue helmets, white pants. And if you're Dale Anderson, you got the shorts on. Doesn't matter how cold. He's always got shorts on the sideline. You got snow on the edges of the end zones all the way down the sidelines as well. And there was some snow on the field as we were getting ready to I was here this morning setting up. They've been shoveling all week. Thermopolis came and said, hey, can we continue to shovel? So they got the remaining bits of snow off the field here as we're here on the Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness halftime show, and I don't think I've got a graphic up right now for the snow. Maybe we can, or not the snow, maybe the temperature is what I'm looking for here. What do we got? It's as of 2:59, 42 degrees, real feel of 48 degrees. So not bad, all things considering. We were down to about 4 or 5 degrees on Tuesday here in the Bridger Valley. So, yeah, we'll take that any day. The teams weren't actually even practicing outside. It was too cold. Knew it would be clear, and hoping that it's clear weather that holds at least through the end of tomorrow, as we'll have a trip up to Lander tomorrow to bring you Mountain View and Lyman volleyball. Assuming that Lyman can get through and play on to tomorrow in a consolation semifinal. They're trying to do that. They'll take on Lovell. Lovell actually without a win this season. Big Piney got them, and that was Big Piney's lone win of the year. And I switched things around. Actually, it's Lyman on the defending the south end zone, heading from right to left. They were going one way, and I think they just got flipped around as they're setting up. Three men back to potentially return. Richie Brewer, Blake Palmer, and Hagen Lamoureux covering the sidelines at about the 10-yard marker. Dustin Harvey set to kick it deep. He's been controlling things defensively, offensively, and kicking game as well. 12 yards for him throwing is all, but he's got a touchdown and 46 yards on the ground. He was a running back to start off the season, but came away after an injury early on in the year. That was Wyatt McDermott was the quarterback, and he went down week 2, and Harvey came in and actually ended up leading the number 2 leading defensive team, or throwing team, I should say, as that season went on. The kickoff is short up the middle, and other way, actually. It was a long one. It was Richie Brewer touching it down in the end zone for a touchback. I saw the Thermopolis team running down the sideline. I thought I saw a football in there. No, it was kicked deep by Harvey. It's at the 20-yard line where Lyman takes over for the second half. No sponsor of the third quarter. We appreciate Big Country Properties sponsoring the second. Bridger Valley Motor sponsoring the first, and we'll have Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance of Evanston sponsoring the fourth quarter. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness, your sponsor for halftime coverage, and Yeager's Auto Body in the pregame all year in the Bridger Valley. First down and 10. Smith in the gun, handoff Lamoureux, still looking for space up the middle. He goes right side of the guard and gets a couple of yards on the first play from scrimmage. Third quarter, starting off 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Looks like Lamoureux picked up about 4 on the play. It's been one of his better runs in the last while. I've had him for, as of late, gain of 4, gain of -1, -1, +2, +1, and now 4. Those were his last 6 or 7 carries of the second quarter, now first of the third. Carter Smith fakes the handoff to Lamoureux, keeps it himself up to the 30, and maybe a yard or a half yard shy of the first down marker. They may give it to him. Forward progress says give it to him. First down, Lyman. 6-yard pickup for Smith puts him back into the positives on his 5th rush. He's been sacked once, as has Dustin Harvey. Preston Brewer picked up his 10th sack of the season on that takedown. First down and 10 on the 30. Single back form. Looks like Lamoureux's ready for the direct snap. He is. He takes it, barrels his way forward for about 4, maybe to the 35. Look for the spot there. They give him the forward progress out to the 34-yard line. Second down and a short 6. Pretty close to 2nd and 5. 53 for Lamoureux. 10:48 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Snap to Smith. Lamoureux up the middle. Big hole to the 45, 50. Jukes out left side across the 50, inside to the 43. Finally muscled down by Logan Shumway. Close to the 40, and a big gain. Out to the 40, and the spot was about the 34, so we'll give him 26 on the carry out to the 40. Biggest run of the day for Lyman. Prior was a 15-yard pickup by Lamoureux on his first rush of the contest. Low snap, and it falls down onto the turf. Smith has to drop on it. He does, and then gets brought down hard by Remington Ferree and Eli McCumber. Well, the big gain is now negated as you got 1st and 10, becomes 2nd down and 13. 79 yards on 17 carries for Lamoureux. We'll have to make a new box for him soon at the rate he's going. 2nd and 13, Richards the center. Awaiting to snap it back to Smith. Perfect snap out to the middle, crossing pattern. Brewer had it in his hands as he jumped up to the middle, hit hard by Rody Farrell at the point of contact and drops out of his hands. 3rd down and 13. 28-0 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3rd quarter here. Time on the clock, 9:38. First drive of the quarter for Lyman. Picked up a few first downs already across the 50, down to the 43, but looking for one more. Need to get down to the 30. Whistle blows the play dead, and timeout taken by Lyman. 3rd down and 13 when we come back. 3rd quarter action. Lyman trails Thermopolis 28-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on mylocalradio.com and KNY on 99.1 FM.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
3rd down and 13. The snap is away. The throw into the hands of Lamoureux. He's racing past the 30, into the 25, and tackled out of bounds at the right sideline. A 3rd down and long play, and what a dial-up on the little wheel route out from Carter Smith and completing out to the right sideline to Hagan Lamoureux. He was off to the races, and a 1st down for Lyman. Moves the chains in a very critical juncture of the contest. Where are they at? About the 42? They're sitting at the 42. The ball's now marked at, let's say, the 23. We'll give them 19 on the pickup. First catch of the day for Lamoureux. 1st down and 10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Inside to close to the red zone. And Lamoureux takes the handoff on 1st down. Picks up a couple close to the 20. Stopped a yard shy of it at the 21. 2nd down and 8. .81 yards for Lamoureux through the ground, and now 19 on the air. Now 1 catch puts him right at 100 all-purpose. 8:49 left in the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 3rd quarter. 28-0 Lyman trails Thermopolis here in Lyman, Wyoming. Shotgun form. Smith has Lamoureux to the left. Logan Cole on the right defense. Van bringing pressure up the middle, up high, in and out of the hands of Brewer again, trying to complete it up the middle of the field. Jackson Jensen with a pick 6 on the breakup. Jensen was the one who took it 26 yards to Patert on that thwarted route on 3rd down and long. That was back in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 8. Sitting on the 21. Smith takes the play call back to the huddle. Clock stopped at 8:29. Down by 4 touchdowns. They have 3 receivers, 2 to the left, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. 4 receiver set, look out right side. Single coverage has Palmer, and it's caught by Thermopolis out of bounds. On the catch, it was Blake Williams, who's been shading Blake Palmer all contest long. He had it, but he was out of bounds, so 4th down and long. We're at 4th and 8 on the 21. Time to go for it here, see what Coach Anderson's got to dial up. It's not a bad play, as Blake Palmer's been going in single coverage against the number 1 corner, Blake Williams, all contest long. He's won some, he's lost some, lost that one. But you got to take a chance here. It's still being shut out in the 3rd quarter. 4th down and 8 to go. Ball on the 21. Inside Thermopolis territory. Low snap to Smith. He looks to the right, then to the left. He's got a man in. Brewer overthrows him at the 10, and it's a turnover on downs for Lyman. Give it back to Thermopolis at their own 21. Pass goes incomplete. And that gives it back to the Bobcats with a 28-0 lead. was a great play by Blake Williams on that play before. He got in front of Palmer. He's been given a task all day long. Blake Palmer leading the way with receptions, sitting at 19, now 20 on the season for Lyman. Shotgun has Harvey taking a direct snap. Up the left side, spun around, but nowhere to go. Down at about the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 9 after a 1-yard pickup. Now it may be time for Thermopolis to continue to run some clock. They've been pretty effective at that so far today. They really have only thrown a few times. They've got them with 4 attempts on the day, 2 completions. Logan Cole split out as a tight end right side. He's got Mortimer. Actually, Cole's a receiver. Mortimer on the line of scrimmage. Sweep left, or to the right rather. Blake Williams takes it. And a flag comes in from the backfield as Williams still on his feet at about the 25. It was MJ Richardson getting a first touch on Williams on the carry. The spot of the foul at about the 23. And it's holding against Thermopolis. Mark it back 10 from a spot of the foul, makes it about 2nd down and 18 it looks like. Was at the 21, but the spot was about the 23 or 24. And they'll take it back to the 15. 1st down marker at the 31. 2nd down and 16. Clock goes rolling at 7:30 left in favor of Thermopolis with a 4-touchdown lead. We'll be in Lander tomorrow bringing you volleyball coverage. Potentially a 10 a.m. match is what we're looking at for our first contest. Under center is Harvey in an I formation. 2 receivers to the left. Hand off to Farrell up the middle. And take that back. You know, it was Farrell up to the 20. 5-yard pickup by Rohde. 69 yards for Rohde. Makes it 3rd down and 10. Under 7 to play. Getting an announcement from the loudspeaker. We've already ran through this, but saying that Lander defeated Lyman in 4 sets. It was a good first set for Lyman, down by 5 late in it, coming back to win 26-24, but Lander took the ensuing 3. Mountain View is advanced in 3 sets over Powell there in the semifinals against Worland at 4 o'clock. Roll out left. Harvey heaves back to throw. Completed to Williams at the sideline. He breaks 1 tackle. Now open at the 40 and off to the races to the 50. 1 man to beat, and Richie Brewer to the 30. Has a space on him and out the sideline. If he stays in bound, it's a touchdown, Thermopolis. And up go the 2 hands of the signal. The referee, 34-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. An 80-yard completion to Williams and a big yak on that play. Well, Harvey is getting a big gain on that play, but it was just a little dump off. That's credit to Williams, who broke a tackle down the sideline and then raced past Richie Brewer, the last man able to get a hand up on him. 6:20 on the clock as Thermopolis has the extra point up and no good by Agure. 34-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. A 5-score lead in favor of the Bobcats on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
34-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board as Thermopolis scores one more time on an 80-yard completion. Blake Williams, he made it about, probably about 78 of those 80 yards. Long race up the left sideline, and now Thermopolis set to kick. Harvey boots it down to the 10-yard line. It's into the hands of Richard Brewer. He brings it back to about the 30. Clock was at 6:30, I think, at the touchdown. And the drive for Lyman starts at their own 31. 6:14 remain. In the third quarter, we'll have the Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance. Fourth quarter coming up after this. Lyman looking to save a little face and needing to get something going immediately. Shotgun has Lamoureux set up for a direct snap. Smith to the left of him. Lamoureux gets the lead block of Smith and tackled down pretty quickly by Riley Schaefer. Not too much space, but a little bit of a gain, about 3-4 yards on the carry out to the 35. Mark Lamoureux down with a 4-yard pickup. Hand off to Lamoureux on the second play. And he's getting some yardage up the middle again. Remington Faree brings him down just shy of the 40. Brings up third and manageable. 3 yards from the first down marker. Pickup of 4 on the first play, 3 on this one. And third down and 3 to go. For Lyman on the 39, their own. Man in motion to the right is Brewer. Lead blocks for Lamoureux on the handoff. He stopped shy of the first down marker, maybe 1 or 2. Fourth down upcoming in decision time. You've got it on your own 40. Probably down by 5 touchdowns. You have to punt here. But with really nothing to lose, the season on the line at this point, you're down by 5 scores. And 4th and 1, as it will be. Looks like Lyman is heading out to go for it. Maybe already too late, but if not, this is the season right here just about. 4:33 left, down by 5 scores, 4th down and 1. Shotgun snap, trying to do the hard count. Carter Smith, the quarterback keeper, racing forward, bowling his way forward, and it looks like he got it for the first down. Carter Smith was chomping at the bit. He was moving forward just as that ball was releasing from the hands of Richards on the long snap. And a first down for Smith to the 44. They'll make it the 43, right at the line of scrimmage, or right at the first down marker that they needed. First and 10 on the 43. Smith in the gun, 3 receivers bunched up left side. 1 to the right. Smith looking out to the right, then single coverage, overthrows Palmer. Again, Williams behind him. And there's been a few overthrows in the passing game today that could have gone for a couple of completions. And then at the same time, there's been some drops by the receivers that were in and out of their hands. 2nd down and 10 on the 43. That looks like the ball got moved back about a half a yard from the last snap. And now the correction is made as they'll move the football forward. I was going to say it looks like it was almost back at the 42 the way they spotted it on 2nd down. 3:52 left in the third quarter. 34-0, Thermopolis on top and in control. On the fast track to a semifinal matchup with Buffalo next week. Handoff Lamoureux. Oh, he had some space, and then Schaefer just grabbed him with the right mitten and ripped him backwards. What looked like it could be a gain of 4 or 5 ends up going for nothing. Schaefer out of nowhere just with the bear claw rip back. 3rd down and 10 on the no gain. $90 yards for Lamoureux. And there was a little bit of space in the first drive and a half up the middle, but it's closing as it did in the late second quarter for Lyman going against this big D line again. McCoy Smith into the game, into the motion to the right, pressure in, and sack of Carter Smith down at the 33. There is a flag at the 41. Have to wait and see where that goes. If it's against Thermopolis, that'll negate the penalty. 3:07 left in the third quarter. 34-0 Thermopolis. Ball temporarily spotted at the 33. And the penalty is against Lyman. They'll pick it up. No, there's no flag on the penalty, apparently. Oh, no flag on the play. Is that what they said? Picked it up? Yeah. So instead, it's just a sack and a big loss. The line of scrimmage was at the 43, now back to the 35. And Preston Brewer will punt. The sack on third takes out any opportunity for Lyman to try to go for it. No, never mind. They're going for it. Lamoureux passes and tipped away by Dustin Harvey. Intended for Richie Brewer. Turnover on downs for Lyman and giving it to Thermopolis in good position. 34-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 2:55 left in the third quarter. Drive starts on the 35. Lyman's second drive of the third period and ends up just like the last did on a turnover on downs. Both of them hard to stomach. And a drive late in the second quarter. Their last drive was stopped at the 11. In enemy territory. And Thermopolis switching its positioning all the way around, all the players from the right go to the left, and then another in Longwell, sweeping left side on a end around. Beats Brewer and then beats Palmer. About 15 yards down the field. A first down, and the Lyman mascot has dropped to his knees and seems to be defeated. Big gain on first down. Puts it back after about 15. Let's see where he was out of bounds. Marked at the 24. 11-yard pickup. Been a relatively quiet day for Longwell compared to last time we saw him in action. That was back in, was that week 4 against Mountain View? Just his fourth carry of the day. First down and 10. Loaded up backfield. Has a man in motion right side. And it's a fullback dive up the middle on a play to Logan Cole. He gets close to about 7 yards to the 15. And it's second down and 2. 8-yard pickup for Cole. 87 yards for him on 8 carries. A touchdown as well. Down to the final 2 minutes, and then in this third quarter, we'll have the fourth quarter brought to you by Jet Piper and Farmers Insurance. A blowout today. Williams in the motion to the left side. Handoff right side to Longwell. He's got speed on the edges and ripped down from just behind, but was it in time? A flag at the goal line as well. Longwell looked to be close into the end zone, depending on whether the knee touchdown, tackled down by Richie Brewer. It's close. Jaron Mortimer was signaling touchdown for Thermopolis. Flag right down at the goal line again. That south end zone is a little difficult to see any yard markers, but it looks right close to the goal. Clock stopped at 1:36. Well, I had Thermopolis favored coming into this contest, but didn't know exactly how it would play out. We can look at the scores comparatively when they took on the big boys like Bighorn in 1A and Buffalo on the east side, and they played both those teams within a couple of touchdowns. They lost to Mountain View 35-0, but who hasn't lost to Mountain View this year? And actually, when you looked at everyone else who's played them, Thermopolis has been the closest contest there was. Now, the ball is marked inside the 5, it looks like. And they give him the touchdown, they take it away. So it looked like it was a horse collar tackle by Richie Brewer, bringing him down from behind. So it was against the defense, declined, and touchdown for Longwell. And trying to keep it a clean score after the missed extra point. A handoff to Cole up the middle for the 2-point conversion. He reaches out forward and gets it across the goal line, 42-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Here in the third quarter, there's 1 minute and 36 seconds left. We'll be back with more. Thermopolis 42, Lyman nothing on a First Bank presentation of Eagles football on MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
$42-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 1:36 left remains in the third period after a 14-yard run into the end zone for Jace Longwell. His first touchdown is number 6 of the day for Thermopolis. 35 yards on 5 carries for Longwell. Lyman set to return again, and one more score by Thermopolis, and we may have a late running clock. That sits at 45 points, as we become all too familiar with Mountain View games throughout this season. Great for Mountain View, not great for compelling football, I will say. And they had another one today. It was 72-0 at the half. I don't know, did you hear, was that the final? And that was the final scores. They had their JV team score once, and then that was the final. 72-0 on the year. And we talked a couple of years ago, a touchback will start Lyman at the 20-yard line. We talked last week about the historic pace that this Mountain View offense is on, currently standing third all-time in all classifications, excluding six-man, for most points per game through 8 games it was at that point. I guess through 7 games, then they increased it through 8 games, and now 72-0. They're creeping up on that 1924 Kemmer team for second most points of all time. The record holder is the 2018 state championship Bighorn team. Screen pass completed to Richie Brewer at the 25 is about where he takes it down to. A 4-yard pickup after the catch for Brewer. We'll close out in a couple of plays this third period. Move on to the Jet Piper Farmers Insurance fourth. And not a generous spot for Brewer on that catch. I think they gave him just 3. $63 yards for Smith. Second down and short 7. Back to throw again. Smith completes it to McCoy Smith. He's tackled right near the markers. And McCoy should bring up a first down and 10. They give him the 7 needed. Carter to McCoy, brothers completing. We saw that back in Cokeville in a late touchdown thrown from Carter to McCoy. 70 yards for Carter on the game. Final 45 seconds of the third period. Snap on first and 10. Handoff Lamoureux forward to the 35. Pickup of about that. 5 yards on first down. 34 seconds left. Lamoureux on his 23rd carry. Still looking to get over the 100-yard mark on the ground. It's about 7 yards away from it. 16 seconds left as Lyman comes to the line of scrimmage. Smith in the gun, 2nd and 5 at the 35. Airs it out deep. Underthrows Palmer, though. He backs up on it. Blocked out of the hands of Logan Shumway on the pass breakup. The linebacker going back to drop and put double coverage in on the receiver. And we got 6.4 seconds left in the third period. 42-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Fourth quarter coming up next. Palmer with a couple of catches today, has 20 and 20 on the season, just over 200 yards as well. Handoff Lamoureux on third down. It's up the middle for first down yardage and more. He jumps forward close to the 50. Great pickup of 15 on 3rd and 5. That puts him over 100 yards on the day. 110 now through 24 carries. And the whistle blown for the end of the third period. 42-0 after 3 quarters. We'll be back with the fourth. Brought to you by Jet Piper Farmers Insurance next on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football. Losing to Thermopolis 42-0 on mylocalradio.com and KNY on 99.1 FM.
Making an informed decision when you choose coverage for you, your family, and your home is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance Agent in Evanston, is here to help you get the coverage that is right for you at the best value. Find out how much you can save each month when you combine home, auto, and life insurance. Call Jeff Piper with Farmers Insurance at 307-789-5489 or stop in at 341 Front Street in Evanston. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance. If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
42-0 as we welcome you back to Lyman, Wyoming. Thermopolis in control of this contest and in the hot seat to get to the semifinals next week against Buffalo. On 1st and 10, ball marked on the 50-yard line. Carter Smith hands off to Hagen Lamro, and he races forward for about a yard as he was pulled back from the back of his jersey. Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance bringing you quarter number 4. And 307-789-5489, the number to call to get a hold of Jeff Piper and help you find out exactly how much you can save by bundling with Farmers Insurance. Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance in Evanston, your local Farmers agent. Second down and 2, 2-yard gain makes it second down and 8. Hand off again to Lamro. He races forward, got a big hole up the middle to the 40, still on his feet to the 30, punches through to the 25, and Lamro gets about 25 yards on the last 2 carries. Wait for the spot. Looks like they will mark it just on that 25 marker. $23-yard gain for Lamro. 135 on the day. And first down and 10. Lyman down 42-0. Looking to get something on the board on their home field in the quarterfinals. Smith back to throw, looks out left side, completed to Lamro. He races through 1 tackle. Off his feet, just picked himself up by the right arm. And he gets out by maybe 5 yards. Second down and 5. On the completion from Smith, didn't have anything down deep, went out left side to Lamro. Second catch. McCoy Smith checks into the game for Lyman, into the huddle. 10:25 left in the game, 42-0. Thermopolis leads Lyman. Single back set in the shotgun. It's Smith with Lamro to his left. Low snap, handoff faked. Smith takes it himself. He gets pushed back. That was Shumway, Riley Schaefer rather, with the tackle and no gain on the play. Third down and 5. Marked at the 20. Lyman's been at the edge or in the red zone a couple of times today now. Stopped at the 11 was their best chance of scoring. That was at the end of the second quarter. And Lyman came to the line of scrimmage, and then the play was whistled dead. A timeout taken. We'll take it as well. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance, fourth quarter, 42-0. Lyman leads on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll be back on this First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com and K9 Radio, 99.1 FM in Evanston.
Making an informed decision when you choose coverage for you, your family, and your home is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance Agent in Evanston, is here to help you get the coverage that is right for you at the best value. Find out how much you can save each month when you combine home, auto, and life insurance. Call Jeff Piper with Farmers Insurance at 307-789-5489 or stop in at 341 Front Street in Evanston. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance.
Third down and 5 on the 20. Smith takes the snap. Out right side has McCoy Smith open, but overthrows him in the end zone. No. And a miss, a flag at the line of scrimmage as well and against Lyman. So it wouldn't have mattered anyways. And actually, it's about the 26-yard line where the flag sits down. Smith comes back to the sideline, gets some plays from Coach Anderson as a holding call goes against Lyman. It's declined, make it 4th down and 5. That was the perfect play set up for Thermopolis, where they couldn't have lost. If that would have gone for a touchdown for McCoy, it would have been taken back on the holding and would have been 3rd and long. As it stands, it's 4th and 5 with the decline. On the 20, 42-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lyman trying to punch one in, 20 yards out. Looks up the middle. Pops out of the hands of Blake Palmer on 4th down. And another turnover on downs for Lyman. And stalls that drive. Gives it back to Thermopolis at the 20. They got from the 120 to the other, so 60 yards picked up on the drive for Lyman. Again, not quite enough. The last drive that they had that stalled in the red zone was also a drive of 60 yards. That one was stopped at the 11-yard line. 9:33 left. One more score by Thermopolis would run the clock down, the remaining 9:33. Two-back, split-back shotgun set. Has Harvey. Handing off fake to Cole, and then instead, is that Longwell? No, that's Jackson Jensen with his first carry today. He was the back on the right side, getting a couple for Thermopolis. Gain of 1. First carry of the day again for Jackson Jensen. Comes in the 4th quarter. 4th quarter brought to you by Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance. And he'll serve the Bridger Valley, Evanston, and really all of southwest Wyoming, wherever you're listening in that area. Call 307-789-5489 to get a hold of Jeff. Under 9 to play, I-back formation, 2nd down and 9. Tailback takes the handoff. It's Jensen again, and maybe one more. Went left of guard. Not too much space to work with. It was M.J. Richardson making the tackle. They give him one more on the play. 3rd down and 8. A couple yards past the 20. Maybe even 3 yards past. Thermopolis back to the line. Running clock and running it effectively down to 8:15 as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Shotgun this time for Harvey. He's got big Logan Cole to his left. High snap, handoff to Cole. He races for the right sideline. He's got size and speed like Mike Allstott. Up the middle, 1st down, still on his feet to the 40. 45, breaks through another tackle, past the 50, 40, 35. Only Hunter Giants trying to catch him as he races for the right sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown Thermopolis, and that will be the cherry on top of a quarterfinal victory for the Thermopolis Bobcats. When Matt McPhee took over 4 years ago, they won just 1 game overall. The year after, they got just 1 conference victory. 2 conference victories a year ago, 4 this season as they finished 4-4 in the regular season, and now a quarterfinal victory, 7 minutes and 51 seconds of clock time away from moving on to the semifinals in a date with Buffalo, which they lost to 28-14 back in week 2. Kick is up and just through the uprights. I'll tell you what, Jorge Aguirre doesn't have a lot of power. He has just enough to get it over that extra point. 49-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, and we should have that running clock going when we come back. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman football. 49-0, Thermopolis leads them on this First Bank presentation on MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Welcome back to the Jeff Piper and Farmers Insurance 4th quarter, 49-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board as Logan Cole on 3rd down and 8. Takes it, 3rd down and 7. Takes it 77 yards to the house. 164 yards for Cole on the day, and nearly a fumble recovery. No, I think Thermopolis has control. No, it is Preston Brewer just with it on about the 26. And shouldn't we have a running clock now? I think we should have a running clock now on the board. So Lyman will recover. Just barely on that kick return. It looks about the 27-yard line, we'll say. 3-play drive, goes 80 yards. For Thermopolis, a double handoff to Brewer, right side. Preston still on his feet, 35. One jersey tackle, and then another. Finally brings him down at the 37. Pickup of 10.5 on the play. Preston, I think that's his first carry of the day. It is, and it goes for a first down. Brewer's got pretty good yard per game averages. 21 attempts, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 9.9 yard per carry average. Picks up another 10 and a first down there. Low snap. It's handed off to Lamoureux. He's up the middle to the 50. Another first down. Pickup of 13 on the play for Hagan. Tackled by McCumber and Williams. Unofficially, 148 yards for Hagan Lamoureux, although no scores for anyone on Lyman as we have the running clock going late in the 4th quarter. It's 49-0 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll have Mountain View football next week in Mountain View. It'll be after we have state volleyball, we hope, for both Mountain View and Lyman coming from Casper on Thursday, and then we'll have football Friday and more volleyball, we hope, Saturday. Long throw down the right sideline intended for Blake Palmer, incomplete. And it's 2nd down and 10, just across the 50 at the 48. 6 minutes and ticking. Down on the Lyman season. They'll finish the year 5-4, and pretty good improvement this year. It was really exciting to watch Lyman football again, and despite the way this quarterfinal game went, I think you can go into next year and know that they've got something building here. See what the numbers do. Snap, handoff to Lamoureux. He cuts left, up the middle, a big space to the 40, out to the left sideline. Beats a man down the sideline to the 25 and into the 20, out of bounds. Big gain from the 48 of about 28 yards for Lamoureux. Got some new guys in there as Thermopolis has pulled out its varsity. It's given some space to this Lyman offense. They mark it at the 21. Yeah, I see the 22 there. Maybe the 23. Can't really tell with those yard markers too easily, though. Give him about 26 yards on the carry. Direct snap to Smith. Takes it up the middle, about to the 20. Pick up a yard or 2 on the carry. Smith, because of a couple of sacks, still in the negatives on the day. See Jet Dickerson in at tight end on the right side. And getting some offensive playing time. Low snap. Lamoureux takes it right side, spins around Rhodey Farrell. And they were close to a first down. I think they got it on that play. First down marked and signaled. Down to 4:25. Ball in about the 15. Low snap to Lamoureux. On the handoff from Smith. Spins out of one tackle. Can't get out of a second. And they're inside the 10, about the 7-yard line. 2nd down and 8 to go. Say it's at the 8. .178 yards for Lamoureux. Up the middle. And not quite yet. No touchdown signal yet. Well, at 3rd and goal, but it's going to be about a yard or so out. Smith in the shotgun. Lamoureux to his left. Low snap. Handoff Lamoureux to the right side, trying to punch it into the end zone, and they do that. 49-6 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And it's 49-6. Well, they get something in before the end of this contest. Clock will stop at 3:26. 3:26, the time of the first touchdown, of a yard out for Hagen Lamoureux. Lyman setting up to go for 2. Lamoureux with 31 carries. Lamoureux gets it again. 2 yards out of the end zone, and he's in. 49-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lyman trails Thermopolis. Late in the Jet Piper Farmers Insurance fourth quarter, this is a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com. With MyLocalRadio.com, you get to stay up to date with Lyman and Mountain View sports by watching all of the games live in the convenience of your own home. Now you get to keep up with your coaches, athletes, and teachers throughout the week with the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner. Weekdays during the school year, the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner will run on KNYN 99.1 FM at 3 p.m. and keep you up to date with the most interesting storylines from Lyman and Mountain View in football, volleyball, basketball, swimming, running, golf, and more. We'll also check in with different students and teachers from the 2 schools throughout the year. 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on KNYN 99.1 FM is the Bridger Valley Coaches Show presented by MyLocalRadio.com. Stay connected. Could be looking at our last drive here with the running clock. 3:26 remain as Thermopolis leads it by 41 points here in the 2A quarterfinals. Lyman the home team, but I thought the underdog coming into this game, and Thermopolis, with their size, their speed, and just tough play on both sides of the ball today, proved that. They will move on, presumably, to play Buffalo on next week's game, but I think that's the one late game. That starts, I think, kicks off in about 2 hours from now. Little onside kick here for Lyman, and drop down after the hauling it in. Blake Williams touches it down at the 35. I've had a lot fewer drives than I've been used to in the last couple of games. There was a ton of drives in Big Piney versus Lyman last week as teams were just going back and forth, not really any advantage on either side. And then the week before, Lyman had a ton of drives with Grable just scoring just about every time they went out there. Have a timeout here taken. And then last Friday, it closed out the regular season. Grable being hosted by Mountain View. That game seemed to take about 3 hours and 40 minutes. It wasn't quite that long, but it sure felt that way, even with the running clock in the second half. Mountain View winning 72-0 in the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board today at their home field, Clarence B. Lammers Field, against Wheatland. And Wheatland, I think we decided it was 41-33 that they played Thermopolis. That Wheatland lost to Thermopolis, but played them pretty tight. So one way or another, Mountain View with a dominating victory in round one, as I think a lot of people expected. But, you know, one way or another, they're on to the semifinals. Buffalo kicking off their final game of the day. They take on Big Piney. And Big Piney finished their season 4-2 in the conference record in the West Side. They got some close victories and had a little bit of good fortune here and there, but couldn't quite get past Lyman in the final week of the season, that 6-0 victory. Finally out to start play here, 3:26, clock not moving yet. And here is the handoff. We got new players in for Thermopolis. Quarterback in is Gavin Shumway, a freshman, and a handoff right side. Didn't quite see who had that ball. Catch him on the next play. It's a gain of 1. 22 on that carry. Thank you very much. Jace Longwell. Second down and 9, ball on the 36. Moving down to 2:48 left. Next week we'll have either a 1 o'clock or a 2 o'clock kickoff for Mountain View. They did a 1 o'clock on this week, as 2 o'clock for Lyman, kind of flipping the way they do things. Low snap and a handoff is bobbled and dropped by Longwell, turned over into the hands of Hagen Lamoureux. So not the last drive, and Lyman gets one more chance out here, down 49-8 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board to take over. A fumble by Longwell. That puts the ball on the 32-yard line for Lyman. Fumble by Longwell. That's first turnover we've had today for Thermopolis. So Lyman had several turnover on downs, and then, of course, the pick six. Look out left side. Smith intended for Brewer. This time he hauls it in. Gonna pick up about 7 yards. Coach Anderson says, let's go. No huddle time. Keep racing down to the sideline, or to the line of scrimmage, and keep playing. 2:13 left. Low snap. Lamoureux throws out right side. It's Bradshaw, and he's got it at the 20 and inside, maybe to the 15. Should be enough for a first down. The marker was at the 17. They'll move the chains, and the throw is down. Look for the spotter. It's 16 yard. So we're first and 10 on the 15. Up the middle again, completed to Brewer. And gain about 5 more yards. And then 5 more yards makes it second down and 5. Snap comes out. Throw outside to Brewer. Close to the end zone. It's caught. And maybe a yard shy. First and goal upcoming. 1:33 left. Final 91 seconds of the game. Here in the 2A quarterfinals, Thermopolis moving on to play the winner of Buffalo and Big Piney next week. Lyman's done, but they're trying to finish off their season with a touchdown. Snap out to Smith and into the end zone. Touchdown. If it's caught and inbounds, it is to Richie Brewer from 2 yards out. Touchdown throw. Smith to Brewer. They got that working late in this game. Clock stops at 1:14 and put some more points on the board for Lyman. Lyman setting up for the 2-point conversion. Out right side, and Lowe's throw intended for Blake Palmer. No good. 1:14 left on the clock. And Lyman trails it 49-14 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll be back in 30 seconds on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com and KNYN 99.1 FM. This is the Jeff Piper Farmers Insurance fourth quarter.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNYN 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
Onside kick happening over the break, and it looked like Lyman had it. It was a good bounce put up by Braxton Saby, but in the end, Thermopolis fell down on it. So clock stays at 1:14. And now perhaps we have our last drive. Well, the last one for Thermopolis went 2 plays with a fumble by Longwell. Gave it back to Lyman, and they scored on a 2-yard touchdown throw to the outside left pylon. Carter Smith to Richard Brewer. For Carter, that was touchdown pass number 6 of this season. Hagen Lamoureux picked up touchdown number 11 on the ground. And we'll have, looks like, is that victory formation for Thermopolis? Yes, they do. 1:11 left, and that should do it. We'll have one more tap down. 49-14 as Thermopolis advances on to the semifinals, taking on Buffalo or Big Piney. That game kicking off in 2 hours from now. we'll be keeping our eyes on Mountain View versus Worland. That game should have just started. If not, it should be within the next couple of minutes. That's the regional semifinal, and for a right to take on either Pinedale or Lander in tomorrow's championship match. That game, whenever Mountain View or Lyman plays, we'll bring that to you tomorrow. That championship match scheduled for 3 o'clock tomorrow. The two gyms will make that tournament go a little bit faster. Second knee taken down. The season is closed for Lyman, and it finishes with a 5-4 year. They lose on their home field 49-14 on the final day of their season. Quarterfinals action as Thermopolis on to play, as we said, Big Piney or Buffalo next week. If it's Big Piney, they'll be on the road. We expect Buffalo and Thermopolis to go and try and do what they had a chance to do last time, which was take them down. 28-14 was the final in that contest, but talking to the coaching staffs of both Lyman and Mountain View, they watched that tape and said Thermopolis was right there in those contests. 49-14, again, the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thank you for listening. We'll come back with post-game coverage after this.
Making an informed decision when you choose coverage for you, your family, and your home is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance Agent in Evanston, is here to help you get the coverage that is right for you at the best value. Find out how much you can save each month when you combine home, auto, and life insurance. Call Jeff Piper with Farmers Insurance at 307-789-5489 or stop in at 341 Front Street in Evanston. Jeff Piper, Farmers Insurance. If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Hello, this is Dr. McKay Frankham. As a dentist in Evanston for over 20 years now, my mission has always been to provide quality dental care for people of all ages at reasonable prices. I'm a detail-oriented person, and it's important to me to stay current on new dental procedures and protocols that can help my patients have the best experience and have the best results. Over the years, I've also worked to keep my overhead low so that I can pass those savings on to my patients. I believe everyone deserves quality dental care. Please call us today at 307-789-8910.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help. The Come On In of Casper. When it comes time to cheer on your Buffs or Eagles at state, the Come On In is your best bet for a great night's stay. Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. General Manager Dennis Lynch invites you to come and experience a community-driven dealership. Evanston Regional Hospital. Quality health care close to home. Bridger Valley Motor. Got a check engine light blinking? Don't guess at what the problem is. Take it to Slim at Bridger Valley Motor in Lyman. And Achieve Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. No excuses, just results. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
49-14, the final in this contest on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Thermopolis advances on over Lyman in the 2019 quarterfinals. Time now to hand out your Dr. McKay Frankham precision play of the game, and we're going to go ahead and give it. It wasn't the best ending, so we're going to throw out what happened in this game and give it to the guys out on the field, all the people who came out and played for Lyman football this year. And let's run you through the recent history of Lyman football, which they finished this season with a home field game in round one of the quarterfinals, 5-4, their final record after today's loss. Well, 2018 they were 2-6, 2017 3-6, 2016 4-6, 2015 3-7. They were 5-5 in 2014. You have to go back to 2013 to find the last Lyman team to finish the year with a winning record when they went 6-4 and closed out with a quarterfinal loss on that game. A year prior, they went 12-0 with the state championship run of it was Dale Anderson's first season, but got a couple of guys in from moving in, got a couple more guys who had not played football before coming out and playing. So, you know, after all that, at the end of the day, the guys out there on the field had quite a good year for Lyman football and brought a lot of excitement back to the field. And I think we'll have a lot more players coming out and excited to be, whether that's junior high or maybe in the high school ranks as well, getting ready to play next year. Probably in the springtime, coming out for spring ball. So that's our Dr. McKay Frankham precision play of the season to those Lyman Eagles as their season comes to a close with a 49-14 loss to the Thermopolis Bobcats. Time now to run you through final stats of the contest. In the end, Thermopolis outgained the Lyman Eagles 442 yards to 297, 350 rushing yards and 92 passing yards for Thermopolis, 187 on the ground to 110 through the air for Lyman. It started off with a touchdown run of 1 yard by Dustin Harvey. That came with 9:08 left in the first drive of the day for Thermopolis, and that was really all instigated by a 35-yard breakout run by Logan Cole. He's probably your player of the game. 9 carries, 164 yards on the ground for him, and then a catch as well. That went for a no gain. 92 yards in the air through Dustin Harvey on 3 completions on 5 attempts. Conversely, Carter Smith goes 110 yards on, let's see how many, gave him 11 completions on about 18 or 19 attempts on the year. On the day rather. Blake Williams got a 29-yard run. That was with 4:37 left in the first quarter. That made it 14-0. And then a turnover on downs for Thermopolis had Lyman in business. They had a 3rd down and 9, a little out route from a slot intended for the slot man. I think it might have been Richie Brewer, the intended receiver. Got picked off by Jackson Jensen. He went the rest of the way, 26 yards into the end zone to make it 21-0. On the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Then Rhodey Farrell got a 40-yard touchdown to make it 28-0 with 5:39 left in the second quarter. An 80-yard score on a pass and catch by Blake Williams, and then a heroic run up the left sideline with 6:30 left in the third period. Made it 35-0, and then it went up to 42 after a 14-yard run by Jace Longwell, 77-yard touchdown by Logan Cole. And they went for 2 on that one to make it the 45-0 final. That was it for the starters. And then Lyman was able to get 2 touchdowns in, a 1-yard run by Hagan Lamoureux on a 63-yard drive, and then a 2-yard pass catch from Richie Brewer to end out the contest. And that will end out our broadcast, as well as we'll take one last break and come back, give you what we know for volleyball tomorrow's. We'll be in Lander, bringing you audio streams of those contests. Back after this on a First Bank presentation of Lyman football on MyLocalRadio.com.
Do you like following your Mountain View and Lyman athletics when you can't make it to the game? Well, we love bringing it to you. Hi, I'm Jake Hibbard, voice of the Mountain View Buffaloes and Lyman Eagles, and I've been traveling around the state of Wyoming and covering high school sports for the better part of a decade. Whether it's covering a big culminating event at the Casper Event Center, calling a tightly contested Mountain View Lyman game, the greatest rivalry in this state, or kicking back and enjoying the views at one of the state's many hidden gems like the ballpark in Cowley, Wyoming, there's a few things I always see. There's officials trying their hardest, coaches sweating it out on the sidelines, and there's always a ton of support for these athletes from the entire community. MyLocalRadio.com would like to take a moment to thank all of its sponsors for making today's video coverage possible.
Without all of us working together, none of this could happen. If you would like to support our future video broadcasts of Lyman and Mountain View sports, there's a few ways you can let us know. The first is, you can call our home office in Evanston, Wyoming at 307-789-8116 and let them know that you would like to know more about how you can become a sponsor of Bridger Valley Sports. The other is, you can just come up to me before or after a game and ask for more information. We've got a lot of different tiers of sponsorship and we'll find the perfect one for you. We would love for you to join the MyLocalRadio.com and Bridger Valley Sports family and help us continue to bring these games for years to come. That number again to call for the Evanston office is 307-789-8116. Or just come up and see me at one of the games and let me help you help us. And remember, go Eagles and go Buffs.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
(49-14), the final on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Thermopolis advances on to the semifinals next week against either Big Piney or Buffalo. We mentioned that the lopsided score over in the other side of the Bridger Valley in Mountain View, 72-0, the final that they win it over Wheatland. That's their biggest margin of victory all year long, and it seems like as they get into the playoffs, they just keep making it bigger and bigger. Players out on the field getting hugs from coaching staff as they close the book, Lyman does, on their season. Congratulations to those boys working hard all year, really bringing back a lot of pride to Lyman football and to the coaching staff as well, working so hard all these years with all of those players out there, and a lot of reason to think that next year could be even better than this year's was. And a 5-4 finish, that's a pretty good one if you look at the recent history of Lyman. Let's take a look and see if we've got anything else. No, we've got 6 and 7 o'clock, Burns and Big Piney. I said that wrong. Yeah, Buffalo takes on Lovell. I was saying that wrong throughout the contest. Apologize for that. Buffalo or Lovell is Thermopolis' contest next week. Burns and Big Piney kicking off at 7. Let's see if we got anything else. In 6-man, it's HEM. Went past Meeteetse. Lingold beat Burlington 73-38. Hewlett beat Farce-Needon 60-13. And LSR still hasn't given up a point, 53-0 in the second half over Casey. First quarter in 3A. Ooh, close one so far. Star Valley and Douglas 7-6. Star Valley the 1 seed, Douglas the 4. That will do it for us, but tomorrow we will be in Lander bringing you volleyball coverage. Lyman right now is up on Lovell in the first set, 16-5. They are trying to advance to the consolation semis tomorrow, and then Mountain View will play at 6 p.m. against Warland. Pinedale is in a semifinal matchup right now, I believe, as well against Lander. The winner of that in the championship game, the winner of Mountain View versus Warland in the championship game tomorrow at 3. We'll be there with you for that. If Lyman wins this contest, as they've taken the first set, they will be playing at 10 a.m. Now, if by chance Mountain View loses to Warland, well then it's 10 a.m. elimination. One team goes to state, one team stays home. Mountain View versus Lyman for a third time. I'd have to say I'd probably hope that we don't get that. Both teams an opportunity to go on to state, but we will see and keep up on that one. Mountain View versus Warland coming up at 6. We'll let you know what we can know after that, and we'll be in Lander tomorrow to bring you those games. Until then, I'm Jake Hibbard. We'll see you tomorrow in Lander, next week in Mountain View, and then state volleyball, we hope, the Thursday and Saturday after that. This has been a First Bank presentation, and we will see you tomorrow.
The preceding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive of Lyman Eagles Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Lyman broadcasts, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Eagles!